If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, along with my co-host, the one and only Hargeet Chani.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good,
how's
man.
Everyone?
It's going good. Cold here.
I hear all these financials that came out and Xbox is dead. Is that true? Is Xbox dead? No?
Nope.
No?
Nope. All
Oh,
lies.
it's just another day. It's just another day that ends in
another
DAY.
day. Just
okay.
another day. Pony lies.
Number of days since a false Xbox dead report. 0. Oh,
0.
I guess that'll be a counter. The number goes up.
Exactly. Welcome out, chat. Over 60 people here in the chat right now, and we are welcoming an amazing panel tonight. Oh my God, we're gonna have so much fun tonight. I am telling you, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get deep. We're gonna get crazy, and we have that blue number. Holly, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi chat. How you doing? Happy Sunday or Monday if you're in England. Jolly old England. How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Jolly good. Speaking of jolly old good, we have Farky in the chat. Yeah, I like that. I like it. Farky did a lot of things for us this time. This week he's done some amazing things. And of course we have with us fun speculation. Oh, we're gonna have some speculation tonight. A little bit of fun, a little bit of deviance. I'm just saying, it's Mav from Fun Speculation. Mav, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, what is up? It's good to be back. Always here hanging out with you, Dave, and we got Hargeet and the blue number. We're gonna have a blast here talking some gaming because Xbox is dead yet again. It's always fun on weeks where we can talk about Xbox being dead and try and twist that around because it's always pretty crazy how that news seems to happen. It's like almost every week. It's crazy, bro.
It does. But I guess we're going to go against the grain today because one of the topics we have, one of the big topics we're going to be talking about today is the next gen Xbox could be unveiled as early as this year. And in fact, there could be an OEM device launching this year. We are going to see, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Right now, we have Hargeet. What is exciting you with this topic list? I know there's some crazy things all over the place. There's all kind of places we can go.
Well, before we do that, though, we got to shout out.
Oh, we do. Spartan.
Gift 20 WebDave membership.
Wow,
Thank you so much, Spartan.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And just to let you know, we do have. I'll put it up here in the corner. It's the how to use TTS. We do have TTS. We're trying it again tonight. Hopefully, I got it all set up right this time. We shall see. So it could be fun, could be dangerous, could be spicy. I don't know, Holly. Hold on to your hats. It's gonna get crazy in here. Just say it.
TTS.
Just say it. We'll see if it works. Let me hit the test button, as it were. All right. So what do I need to do? Get a brain. That would be nice. Let's see. Open up that tab. Okay, cool. All right. So Hargeet, let me know if you hear this test message. I did it earlier and everything worked, but it takes a second.
so far.
This is a test message.
Oh, got it.
Okay, we heard
That
that.
was Linus, wasn't it?
I think so. But
Yeah.
that was actually through the system. So if it's through
Nice.
there, that means it should actually work if somebody does a TTS. And I've got all the things updated, all the proper programs opened. I hope. We'll see. So anyway,
do you actually have like the article on this PlayStation controller, the adaptive touch PlayStation controller? Because I'm going to show that picture.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. Let's do that one.
All right. Let me bring that up real quick. Let's see here. This is what we call professional journalism on the slide. Now it's a fun podcast, and we're gonna have fun. By gosh, we're gonna, one way or the other, we're kicking and screaming. We're gonna have some fun. All right. So there we go. Right off the bat, that was easy. Let's share this screen, and then let's bring it in. Kaboom! I'll let you read the top, and then I'll bring the picture up bigger.
Absolutely. Okay, so Sony patents adaptive touch PlayStation controller with no physical buttons. The controller accepts input via adaptive virtual buttons that are not fixed to any positions and instead work based on how the user holds it. And that is obviously a rendering. It's not, I don't know if that has anything to do with an official anything, but
probably not. Yeah, amazing.
But yeah. Holly, what do you think?
Did you see the other picture that VGC had put up for this? It was a schematic. It wasn't like, I haven't seen this rendering. That's actually the first time I saw this. The schematic is very interesting. Dave, I can send this post to you.
Yes,
if you're interested. But this, like, look, I think Sony does some really interesting things with controllers. I think I like the haptic feedback on the DualSense. I hate the battery. It's total shite. But and then I also I mean, I just like Xbox controllers better ergonomically, but I do think that they do some really cool stuff with their controllers as far as like the technology and stuff. And so this is really advanced, but I would hate playing with this. Like, I would never touch the right place. Like, if I was trying to hit the A button or X, I guess in this case, right, for the A, like, there's nothing that guides my finger to go to the same place, right, to hit repetitively in the same place. I mean, sure, we sort of have, like, natural memory, right, of where we go with things, but, like, you literally use the buttons while you're playing. Like, you feel where the next button is next to it, right, to use it. I don't know. That's what I do, right? Like, so I don't even know how a thing like this would work because I feel like you would just get misinputs all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
I agree.
It looks like it. I mean, also, that looks like a lot of LED and light and electronics, and their batteries are already bad. So, like, this just seems like it would have way more of a battery implication. And then it just looks like if that thing cracks anywhere, you're toasted. It's like if it's like a phone screen at all, like, that's it. Game over, man. Like, if at least, like, if this thing cracks, right, like, these things pop off all the time, right? The little thumbsticks pop off, no big deal. Pick it up, it magnetizes itself back on, and away you go. But, like, that, I don't know. And then the other thing I think about is, like, you know, like your microwave, because this happened with my last microwave. It's all just this, like, flat screen, right? And you hit the same buttons all the time, right? Like, you're always hitting, like, add 30 seconds or the 1 for its auto starts the minute, whatever. And my last microwave in, like, 2 years, the flat panel fancy part about it, right? Like, where I had hit those buttons, the coating and the, like, plastic invisible shine stuff had pulled up, right? And it was all bubbly and warped and all of that. Like, not a big deal on a microwave as long as the button behind it still works. But on something like this, like, I just don't, I don't know. I see all kinds of, like, questionable flaws or questionable faults as I'm thinking about what could go wrong, right? Because that's a couple of years ago I went to Seattle and I toured Xbox with Jason Ronald, and he took me to the hardware testing area, right? And so they were showing me how it was really cool. So they took me into this room, and it's like a super tiny room, and they have all these like automated testing stations, right? And they would put a controller in, and they set the thing to just repeatedly tap one button for a million times, right? And then they'll move it to this and they'll move it to that, right? And so they test the fail rate on the buttons in this room with all these controllers going, and then they even test it like hitting it right on versus hitting it at an angle versus hitting it like wonky or moving from one to the other. They test all these different angles and ratios on that too. So like I don't know. I just don't know how you test this in the real world long enough for it to be like, I mean, you can, obviously they're going to, if it works, it works, it'll be cool. But I'm a little skeptical. This looks like probably one of those it's best to not early adopt, kind of wait for V2. So that's my thought.
Mav, your thoughts?
Yeah, I hate it, but I am, I'm 42. I think like this is made for the kids that grew up on iPads and stuff. I think,
As Adidas 20 celebrates 28 months of membership.
Ooh, Jedi.
Thank you, Adidas.
Adidas, thank you. That worked. Everybody heard that?
Yep.
Shout out to Adidas.
Good. Yeah. Shout out to Adidas.
So, yeah, overall, I think they're good. They're a good hardware company because they keep coming up with different things. They just announced speakers that seem pretty cool. They have just announced a new monitor. There's rumors of them doing an OLED portal or whatever. I don't know if this is necessarily needed, but I think they are like looking at that young crowd and what they're used to playing on, and they want to get them used to playing on their
_K
controllers.
celebrates 27 months of membership.
How did that pronounce Fark you?
Yeah,
Fark
okay.
Q. Fark
Hold
you
on.
too,
Yeah.
sir.
Husband lady celebrating my 49th. Send olives.
Oh, okay. Well,
Congratulations,
we'll send
Adidas.
some olives.
Happy birthday, 49.
Yeah, 49th birthday. Nice, man. You want olives for your birthday?
It's an inside joke.
Okay.
You know, C Money hates
Yeah.
olives and mustard, and so Adidas always pushes his buttons. So he wants olives. So I have a whole bunch of images of C Money with olives and mustard, like say this one. So that's what that's about. But I have like all these olives and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, right.
Anyhow.
Yeah,
Nice.
but like the things I could see being cool is certain developers saying, okay, I want a different layout for this
Oh, yeah.
game. Yeah, like fighting
Oh, yeah.
games, you could have button placement differently, like the old school, like 3 and 3, or you could have like more of a typical joystick kind of configuration for like bullet hell type games or something like that. And so I could see certain things being done with it to be pretty cool. Like say you're playing Madden, maybe they could put up the plays on that screen so you could just select the plays from hitting the individual plays and swipe it. So that way, if you're playing, on the same screen multiplayer, your opponent can't see your plays. They kind of experimented with stuff like that, but like all these things they've tried to do before with like smart glass features. Remember Xbox and smart glass with like an iPad, it's just depends on how utilized it is. If they actually fully go in and utilize it to where it's actually fully taking advantage of things, I could see certain games being like, okay, that would be cool to have for. But as an everyday play every game type controller, I need to feel the buttons and stuff, man. Like that wouldn't really work for me. But these kids they're crazy on these iPads and stuff, man. Like when my daughter was little, she was playing Roblox all the time and doing those obbies, like the obstacle courses, and just using like an iPad screen. And those are like extremely difficult to do on a controller or anything, but like they running through them like a pro. So I think the kids these days are just really adept at playing on screens. So I don't think it would affect them as much as it would like us, the older crowd. But yeah, it's intriguing. It's interesting. I'm curious what all features it would be able to be had for like the developers to customize the experience, and that would be the most beneficial thing for me, I would say. But they also got to make it. I think that do they make it playable on PC, and are the PC?
It's got to be.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
Because I can imagine the PC community doing crazy stuff with it. With mods and all this other kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see, man. They should also allow like cloud streaming on it. Why not? They put Wi-Fi in it.
Yeah. Well,
see if they're forward looking with that, but yeah. But yeah, so my thoughts are this is actually kind of interesting. It's well, for those who think it might be problematic, I mean, we, as you mentioned, right? This is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's just this in a different shape. And we touch this all day, right? So is it going to like wear out because it's more strenuous? Well, kids play on them. They already do it, right? You've already mentioned like an iPad, like your daughter's playing game. It's natural to them. Would we maybe be a bit more forceful at first? Maybe we'll learn to not be, right? It's an interesting concept, though. One of the things I don't like about the PlayStation controller is the symmetrical sticks. Well, this takes away that problem because you could just reassign it to whatever you want, right? It's just a screen. So you can just change whatever you like, wherever you like. And if it has true haptic response, it will give you haptic response wherever, right? So that kind of is an interesting thought. So is it a potential that this could be a useful controller? Sure. And like the middle of that thing could become a screen, right? Like you're saying, hey, programmers could change that to do whatever. And just think of it as like a second screen for certain functions, right? So like that might allow you to do things that otherwise you wouldn't. Again, it would be specific to games that take advantage of it, but it's still there. So there's some potential here. I'm going to give them credit for trying to make something different. I don't know what the triggers look like. And that could be a major problem if you're trying to play like racing games or any other game that kind of needs the potentiometer of that trigger, right? So if that's digital, I don't know. I'm not, I'm not sure where that'll be, but we need to kind of figure that out. But hey, whatever. They're trying something. To your point, though, this is not like brand spanking new. Like we've seen it in other formats. So we already have it on your phones. Right. Yeah. You already had exactly like the Wii U gamepad had a touch screen in the middle and you could do all sorts of fun things with it. It just unfortunately like that console didn't really get as much attention as it should have. So there weren't a lot of things that took advantage of that. But that was certainly a thing. But look, your phones already do it. Your iPad already does it. Right. Those are already there. And then, as you mentioned, Xbox gave you this option if you wanted to do it with your phone. If you wanted to play your game that way, you could. And then, of course, you can cloud game. And cloud gaming allows you to use touch controls on your phone or whatever device you're on. Or if you want to use a controller, great, up to you, right? So it's not new, but this is kind of saying, let's go that way. Now, is this like the one and only controller, or is this like a potential add-on that you can choose to have? That's an interesting question. I don't know, right? And what if like this is something they're looking at for the next Portal, right? Instead of it being the main controller for the console, maybe this is what they're looking at as the next portable device, and instead of it just being locked to having controls on the side, it can just be a panel, and then you can just have the controls kind of be a part of the edges. There's all sorts of potential here, so I'm not sure what they're looking to do, how they're looking to take advantage of it, but if this is what they want to make their main controller, fine. If they want to make this an add-on, fine. I could see some potential, though. I don't want to just immediately, denounce it. I think there's some. I am actually more excited to see where this goes than to just say this is garbage. So
right.
At least that's my initial thought.
Jasper in the chat, shout out to you, Jasper, makes a really good point. Like for the touch screen on controls, like that even the kids are used to, they're actually looking down so they can see where the buttons are because you're looking at the game actually on the device, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like this, you'll be looking at the TV screen or monitor or whatever in front of you while holding the controller. So like, does that kind of affect your
it's one of
ability?
those things you have to work through, right? And if anybody played on the Wii U, that was the main problem. Because a lot of the times, instead of looking at the TV, I'm looking at the controller.
Yeah.
Because you just have to, because there was stuff on the controller. And it's like, well, I don't remember where that is, so I have to look at the controller. I'm not looking at the TV. So that was one of the functional issues, right? Just from a human, interface perspective. It is absolutely true that is a problem that they will have to figure out. If they can give you enough haptics that, like, when you try to swipe over something, you can feel the buttons, right? If you can kind of feel the buttons, then it might be okay. But we'll see how they implement it. That's something they'll have to deal with.
Yeah, agreed. So the one thing, Matt, you said about you could configure the controller any way you want to. So say you prefer the Xbox layout, well, you could actually do that with this easily. Just flip it around. That would be kind of neat. I don't know. It's like I said, it has some potential, but the implementation of it is what I would have to see. Exactly how it'd be used. Looks like we're getting that TTS coming through. Plus, we
Hargreet, I hate to disagree with you, but dialing on your phone or bringing up your email are two different things, like playing D2 or COD, man shrugging emoji.
Yeah, you're right. And it's something you'll have to learn. And I don't know that this is going to be great, but I'm not going to just poo-poo it immediately. I want to see what it's like. And look, to the point that we're bringing up about like the next generation, that's how they play. For them, this might be the way that it works. And I don't know. We'll see what they like with controller, without controller, how it works. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's certainly pitfalls to this.
Yeah.
But that's a choice.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
could just say, you know what, like the current DualSense, fully forward compatible. Right? If they just said that fully forward compatible, it's like, okay, cool. You can still get the DualSense. You can use that if you want. But we'll also offer this, and you can choose to leverage this if you want to. Cool, right? It's an interesting option.
Yeah. I don't know. It just
weird.
I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I just I don't know. I mean, select games, maybe certain things, yeah. But the best point I think you guys both, everybody brought out was that you're looking at your controller or you look at the screen. Where are you going to be looking at? And if there's no buttons there to feel when you're looking at a screen, you might be, say, why didn't I win? And you look in and you're like, you're hitting all to the side, or you're hitting the wrong button, or just because you have to look down to do it, and you look up and you're dead. It's like, fuck, so I don't know. It just, maybe there's certain games that this would really benefit, but there's also a lot of games that this would, I think, really, really hold you back from your precision gameplay. I could see more of have your controllers there and then a little mini screen in front of it, kind of like they do with they have a touchpad on the PlayStation controller, and even like the Vita it was actually a touch screen plus the controllers plus the back. You could use your fingers and stuff on that. Had like a whole touchpad on the back, big full touchpad on the back of the device while you're holding it. Those kind of things, maybe. I don't know. But this by itself, I don't know. I'd have to see it in practice. But right now, I just don't see it.
You should look at that picture that I sent you.
Did you? Would you send it to me? I couldn't find it.
Sorry, it's a DM in Twitter. Just to you.
All right, let's see here.
It's a bit of a different layout. It looks like it's got a fixed D-pad and then maybe 2 fixed buttons. But I don't know. Maybe that's a little more realistic. We'll see. But the other deterrent on this thing is the cost. Like, I can only imagine how much this would cost. And their controllers, as they are, like $85, right? So, I don't know, man. It's a lot of money. Your phones aren't cheap, right? Because they have a lot of that. They got way more stuff in it, right? But, still, if you have a controller that is very cool, fully programmable to move things around as you need, or like Matt said, like having different layouts for different things and being able to toggle through that. Very cool idea. But the price on that has got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you wouldn't think it need to be like OLED. You know what I'm saying? It could be just a
Right.
touch-based type device. So, Hargey, you want to read that top part there real quick, and then Matt,
Sure.
want to go.
Sony has patented a touchscreen PlayStation controller that lets players reposition and resize the buttons to suit their needs. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Actually, I gotta say. But as far as like the cost for a capacitive touchscreen, probably with like some of the newer tech like Gorilla Glass and all that stuff, I don't know if it's going to be like breaking the bank levels. I mean, they already overcharge a lot for those controllers, so. Is it possible they can make it happen easily? Probably. I mean, like there are phones that are like $100. We just don't buy them here because we have these ridiculously over expensive, $1,500 phones. For some reason, we like that. But if you go to the rest of the world, they couldn't even think about affording that. That's like their annual salary or some shit. So they buy like the $50, $100 phone, and obviously that can be made at profit, and they can sell those phones, right? So it's possible that they can get enough capacitive touchscreen capability in these at a decent enough price, but we'll have to see, right? Like it's not like these. If you took a DualSense Edge, how much is that? Like $300, $250, something like that. You look at the Elite, that's like 130 base or something like that, and then if you want the whole thing, it's like $200.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're gonna say the controller is $100, is it that far off? Like if it costs them an extra like $6 in components or something like that, I think they can pull it off.
And the Portal's like $200, right? Portal's $200.
The Portal,
right?
yeah, Portal has a full screen, right? Right. So how much was the Switch? It was like 200, 250, 250.
Switch Lite
Was
Switch Lite was 200.
200, right? And that's a touch.
Yep.
No,
I think it
was
is.
the Switch
Pretty
Lite?
sure.
no,
Yeah, the
Switch
touch.
Lite had. Oh, it's the controllers were affixed to it. You couldn't take.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's still a touchscreen, right? So, and that's a
Yes,
full
it did have a
console.
touchscreen.
That's a full console, right? So, could they make a controller with like, a third of the screen? Because that's all they need. Like, just looking at slivers here, right? They're not taking the whole thing. So yeah, I think you can do it. They can do it. It's just a question of what they pull off with it, and if that means like your thumbsticks are better. And by the way, I like the D-pad being over there. What does that mean? It's not symmetrical sticks.
Right.
I like that. so we can see if they can make it look like it should, make it kind of feel cool. And then to your point, Mav, you were saying PC. Yes,
Yeah.
That's the point. Bring it to PC, and then people can just choose whether they like that controller or not, and then they can mod the hell out of it and make it what they want, right? Not a bad thing, and I would expect a whole bunch of others would start doing the same thing, and you'd get all sorts of custom capabilities that look the same, right? And you might get like a higher end version from somebody else, right? So awesome stuff. So what the heck? I like innovation. I don't mind. I have no intention of buying a PlayStation 6 anyway. So to me, this is just a cool little peripheral that if it's available to me for PC, I might consider it if it's a valuable thing. Or if somebody else takes that, extends it to the point where I'm happy with it. Cool. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So there was a couple of member gifting.
Yeah, we did
Those out of the way.
a couple of them here. We had this one.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Our friend, Far Q, in another name, Bram Stroker, gifts 5 WebDave memberships.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for that.
And then the OG WebDave himself gives
up?
5 WebDave memberships.
Well, I couldn't let Farky upstage me. Anyway, of course he can. He does quite often. That's all right. But yeah, so that, it's where we start things off. We have right now we've got over 150 people here watching us live. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate you watching us either on YouTube or on X. Thank you for being here. And of course, thanks again to our wonderful panel tonight for being here. We are 1 week away from the Super Bowl. So that means that there will not be a show next week here for us. We will not. We're not going to
Super Bowl where my New England Patriots are playing.
Who? Were they?
Oh, you're a Patriots fan, Hargeet?
I live in Boston.
Yeah. I love Boston, by the way. We went again this year. Great city.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate the Patriots, so I hope they lose.
Yes, the national nightmare has come back.
I will say, at least it's not Belichick's Patriots.
Yeah. And a quarterback. Who do they got for a quarterback? I don't know.
Drake May. He's legit, man. Like
he's looking good.
Yeah,
he's looking good.
But it's not Tom Brady.
The rest of the folks in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, should hope that Drake May doesn't turn out to be Tom Brady too. If he does, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for the Seahawks just because I think they only won one Super Bowl. If I'm right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the Patriots don't need another one yet.
That was against Manning, right? That was
yeah. After such against
the Broncos.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Hi, Holly,
after the Patriots had such a long dynasty.
We'll get back to gaming in a minute.
I think they need to have a little bit more time off before they win more Super Bowls. 30 years that's about par for the course for Cowboys fans. Let's let the Patriots have 30 years off of Super Bowl wins first. That sounds good.
Sorry, it doesn't look like that might happen.
We'll see.
I don't know what's going on with the Cowboys, but anyways, that's
Big Madmo 4379 celebrates 23 months of membership. Shout out to the panel. Hey Holly, waving emoji. Xbox will be the only thing talked about this year. They loving these financials, especially after the last fall amount.
True. We're going to be getting into that for sure.
Should we get into GDC? We can get into financials if you want to get into that one.
We'll do it. Let's do the ROG Ally thing real quick, just because it's such a good price. Because I don't want people to miss out on this if they get the opportunity to get themselves one. So let's bring this up here. So currently, the Xbox, so ROG Ally, the white version, I don't know what's 16 gigabytes, 512 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 megabytes of storage, and it is now on sale on Amazon. Switch over to this page, share this instead. There we go. So it's actually a pretty damn good price. It's a little actually right around what you can get a Steam Deck for, and this will also play all your Steam games as well, plus have access to a lot of good things in a great controller feel. I love mine. I think it's fantastic, and I know most of us maybe have one. Some of us have one. Mav, do you have one of the handhelds?
Yeah, it was my Christmas gift, man. I got the black one.
Nice. Holly, did you get one?
I actually won mine from a giveaway on Fonz's show.
Oh, that's right. I remember that now. That's freaking awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Me and Hargee both bought ours as well too. So that's just so cool. So cool.
It's fantastic.
So,
I had the first Ally, the original,
and then me too.
Then this one, and man, it's like night and day between the two of those. It's crazy.
There you go.
Is it the ergonomics that make it feel so different? Or
that plus the interface is way better.
Mm-hmm.
The Z2 chip is also just lightning compared to the Z1. Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
It's just awesome having being able to buy that device and having access to so many freaking games, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I mean, that's my first thing. Just setting it up and linking the different accounts to it and just going through the thing and just wow. The amount of games already on this handheld that are playable, installable is insane. And I've got a Switch 2 at launch also, which it's I would much rather have this thing. I know it's more expensive, but the quality of it overall, even the speakers, the sound quality on the speakers are amazing. I was blown away by that. And then just the amount of access you have to everything, it really makes the playing that really ruined the Switch 2 for me. Also, it's got a good Wi-Fi adapter in it because I don't lose Wi-Fi anywhere in the house, which the Switch has horrible Wi-Fi on it. So they just did a really good job with great build quality and components in the thing. It's a great place to play games, man. I absolutely love mine.
Yeah,
I gotta
agree.
say, somebody invited me to a party, and I was in bed playing the Ally. I like sat up in bed. Sometimes I like to sit up in bed and play a little bit on the Ally, like before I go to bed. And somebody invited me to a party, so I thought, what the heck? I'll try and see what happens, right? So I just joined the party with the speakers. You know, just full open and the mic in it. And I thought, well, let's see what happens. Because when you try to join a party on your phone, it's ass because you get all that feedback. It's double dipped, right?
Yep.
They were like, oh, hey, start talking. And I was like, how do I sound? And they were like, what do you mean? You sound fine. You sound like you normally do, like when you're on your Xbox. And it was like, they couldn't believe I was just sitting with the full speakers open, talking to them without earbuds, without anything. Like, they were like, it sounds like normal. The mic in that must be pretty darn good, too. It's cool.
Yeah, it's more the echo cancellation that's built in, right? So now you have a computer running the echo cancellation. That's what really kills the phone thing. Is it's sometimes the application doesn't know how to use the echo cancellation correctly, and it really messes it up. So you get your own voice back,
on handhelds, they would think you would need headphones or earbuds and stuff like that. And I thought I was going to be having to use those all the time, but like the speakers are so good on that thing that I actually just prefer playing with the speakers, like just blaring, because it's actually got a lot of depth to the quality of the sound on it and stuff.
And you can cuss on here, dude. It's okay.
I forget, where I can and where I can't. Sorry.
Well, you can hear, so you don't have to apologize at all.
Fuck it.
Fuckity fuck. There we go.
We've all got the higher end version, just to call that out. I don't know how good the lower tier version is. It does lack some of the features of the higher end version, obviously, and has a price delta because of that. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure it's still a great system. But hey, it's a step up from maybe a Switch 2, maybe. So if you want, but from a game perspective, it is because you have so many games available to you from the PC side. So certainly it's worth that. But it's in that range. If you're looking for one or the other, you have the potential to pick one or the other. And again, this can be docked. You can connect it to your television and use it as a console if you want to. It's a PC, so you can connect whatever controller you like. It'll work with that. So you have that option as well. So a lot of potentials here. It's still pricey, but in comparison to where consoles are today, it's not that pricey. Sadly.
Exactly. And it's like I said, the price is good. Plus you can also add extra memory to it. I added a terabyte card to mine, and it's great. So I have plenty of room for all my emulated games and all things like that I want on there. And you can even install games like, from Steam or Epic Store and play them right through your handheld, man. It's great. So you don't have to worry about, like, it's not that much memory. You got plenty of room, plenty. And you can always, jockey games like you have on your regular systems too. For some games you're not playing that much, delete them, reinstall them later if you need to. It's just one of those things. But handheld, definitely nice. To being able to dock, super nice feature. Make sure you get a good dock. There are some docks that aren't so great. And if you get one that's, I have obviously a Steam Deck, but I have a Steam Deck dock as well. And the cord plug-in is actually on the other side. So it's kind of sits awkward on the thing, but it still works. But yeah, but if you get the right model one, and it's easy to do, and it's easy to set up, and it's great. A lot of fun. You're strongly ranked. If you can afford one, get it. A lot of these places, including Amazon, as where you can set up with the 5-month payment plan kind of thing, or 6-month payment plan. So there's different ways you can can maybe afford it a little better for you if you can make some monthly payments on that kind of thing. So not to we made money. No, I get it. Trust me, I get it. We got another super chat coming in. We'll have to read that real quick.
That's WEBDAVE. Don't forget you can add a micro SD card.
Exactly. Very good. Exactly, Mac. As well. I was just saying that you can add a micro SD card. Because,
hello, I like money.
Exactly. But let's see. And thank you, Mac. Appreciate that. There also had some more member memory giveaways too. There, Hargeet.
Did we? Oh,
We
okay.
did.
Let me see. Maybe was it just this one?
Yeah, that would be the one.
Yes. All right. FarQ gifts 5 WebDave memberships.
So Farky, I really appreciate you doing it, buddy. But you don't have to. I mean, because technically now you've given 10 instead of just the 5 because you both accounts are yours. So, but thank you so much for doing that, sir. I really appreciate it. You don't have to. And the thumbnail is courtesy of FarQ this week as well. And we do have emojis in the chat. If you want to get your own membership, it's only $1. And then please thank them for giving you a membership. It's awesome. It just gives you a chance to use the emojis and have a little fun. And we do have TTS up and running tonight if you want to check that out. Anybody else got any more they want to pass on about this, or we want to move on?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So let's move on. Hargy, where would you like to go?
Let's just do the GDC one. Let's start with that.
GDC.
Everybody sees my nice little.
Do you have a link for that?
I just generated it myself.
No. I mean, the topic though.
Oh, for the GDC.
Yep.
I
don't know if I
think
got
so.
that.
I never prepared one. I can look for one if you want. Let me see.
Yeah,
GDC.
it would be great because I have to look at
26.
it's a different show to like the Blizzard Showcase coming up. I don't have that one.
Okay, well, this is just the first
Professional
one.
journalism. Welcome to our podcast. Just kidding.
Let's see.
Sorry, Mav. We're kind of winging it tonight. Can you tell?
Good. Everything's flowing great, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
All right, I'll see if I can just share that. Share screen. Okay. Here we go. I don't need to share audio. Share. Did that work?
Let's see. Add to stage. Kaboom. Yes, there we go. And you have control over, so you'll be able to scroll it.
Okay, so I guess the big thing is just this, right? So this is the survey they ran. Which platforms?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I had that.
Okay, as a developer right now.
Yep.
And PC dominated it. Shocking for development. I mean, that's the obvious path because you're developing on PC. So for them, that's the best platform. Next up is PlayStation 5 and then Steam Deck, which again, that's just kind of PC, right? And then Switch 2 and then Xbox and then Android, iOS. Interesting that those are so low, even though they generate so much revenue. And then the old Switch, people are still looking to make games for that. And then it goes on from there. So you kind of see where things are right now.
Yep. Yep. Now, my takeaway on this, and I'll just get mine out of the way and then we'll go around the horn, is that, these rumors are true that the next generation console for the Xbox is going to lean heavily into PC to make it easier for them to, it's things they've been working on in the background for quite a while now, actually quite a long time, talking to Jason. And it's something they kind of had in the works for a while, and now it's really coming full fruition. That it'll make it easier for them to program for the Xbox and /PC, which means it'll be able to, if somebody's making a game for the PC, it's automatically going to work for the Xbox. Well, before you had to do a lot of different tweaks and things you had to change, and different things you had to to implement. Kind of like you still would have to do a little bit of finagling with the program to make it work on a PlayStation or the Switch. But right now, the way they got things set up, it's not gonna be a detriment, or not gonna hold them back anymore. So if you're gonna be able to program for the PC, which is pretty much the thing that everybody really wants to program for, looks like you're gonna be automatically programming for the Xbox if that's where you choose to make it available as well. And the whole process or the whole big thing they implemented is the Play Anywhere is really a big door open for everybody, and where everybody's probably going to want to go to, whether you get the new Xbox or not. It is definitely making a big statement in the future, and we're going to hear more about that very, very, very soon, I believe. But let's go around the horn. Holly, your thoughts on this?
Well, before we do that, I do want to add this clarifier, which I don't know if people are seeing it. That was where they want to go in the future.
Yep.
This is where they're doing work today.
Yep.
And in that one, it's 83% PC, 47 PlayStation, 40% Xbox, 28 on Steam Deck, Android. And you can see that Switch 2 is at 18%. Switch 1 is at 21%. It just kind of gives you an idea of what things are actually doing. Android is quite a bit higher than what they were saying there, et cetera, right? So it's where they want to put their focus versus where they are putting their focus. Because the reality is where they make money is what matters, right? So,
Yep.
So just to put that in perspective, right? So this is, if you ask a developer where they want to put their focus versus what they have to do to get the game out to actually make money, that's what the difference between these two is. So just keep that in mind, right? So when asking a question like that, there are two parts of that. There might be somebody who's like, I will never put a game over there, and then their publisher says, oh hell you will, and it better happen within this time frame. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, what, put it on Switch? But if there's enough people buying it, you're gonna get it there. That's just the way it is, right? So that's kind of, so I just want to put that out there. This is not just there's the hopes, and then there's the realities, right? Of like, you're putting this where they expect you to put it. Like, that's the way it goes. So continue. Sorry.
No, that's perfectly good. So let's with this question, what are your thoughts on this, Holly, that blue number?
I mean, I don't have a ton of thoughts. I guess I don't feel like any of us is surprised. And the more that we see or have been hearing, right, for a couple of years now, that consoles are going to start shedding more of the console skin and being more of the purely PC box, right, that they are, and making it simpler in the future, hopefully, for everybody to have sort of an experience like we have on the Ally. That PC is definitely, the front runner and the leader overall, and it will continue to be. So I think it's makes sense, right? People, they want their games to see as many people as possible. They want to have as much exposure as possible. You're going to have that on PC, period, right? So the more that the consoles become this hybrid and become a place for people to access those PC games, it only makes sense that PC is just going to continually rise on that list of want places, because it's going to be everywhere. I don't know. I don't feel like this is a huge, like, surprise or major topic, right? Like, to Hargeet's point, like, they want to do certain things, which is, they want to put their games on PC, but they might be told, you can't put it on PC yet, get it ready, but we'll release it in a year or 6 months or 18 months or whatever, right? And I'm sure that as a developer, they would love to see those restrictions being taken down a little bit more, make it easier for them.
I definitely I agree with that, and yeah, it's I mean, to me it seems like it's a no-brainer. Where some people are like, oh, they don't want to make games for anybody. They're bringing the big doom and gloom. Ponies are just totally running with it like it's, see, everybody hates Xbox. Xbox is dead. Not so fast there, home skillet. But we'll definitely see. So Mav, your thoughts on this? Sorry about my dog in the background, but my wife is trying to give her some treats, and she wants them now. So sorry about the barking.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Yeah, I think overall it's I think actually the more important thing is the second thing that Hargeet brought up, with where they are actually working on their most recent games or projects currently. It was interesting on there that the Switch was a lot lower than I thought it would be, especially the Switch 2 is even lower than the first Switch. So, and if you compare that to where they say they want to be, like, I think the Switch was at like 39% or something. Well, I mean, the Switch 2 is out, and so is the Switch. So why is there such a disparity between saying what you want to do as opposed to what you're already doing on devices that already exist? You know what I mean? So there's really no actual feasibility for me for the whole thought process of what do we want to do if these things exist and they're not actually doing it already. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't really hold any water or anything. It seems more just like a popularity contest at that point on a kind of survey. They might as well handed them a card and said, what platform do you like the best? You know what I mean? And it probably would have gotten the similar results. It doesn't really make any sense. The fact that Xbox was 40% of them are actually still making projects or more recent projects, which is really close to PlayStation, and then both well below PC. That's like the world we live in today. The thing is that Xbox is combining more.
At
so
that blue number can do no wrong.
Another one can do no wrong. You hear that? Blue number can do no wrong.
Go, Holly. Go,
Hi,
girl.
Lotus.
The numbers like overall seem like, you know, Xboxes they're converging the PC and the console thing. You know what I mean? So it's all going to end up being PC anyway. It seems to speak to really what developers want. Also, you know, like, so I think this is just one of those random things. It's like, hey, there's this interesting survey we did. Everybody make a big deal about this because it makes Xbox look like crap. But it's not a reality. It doesn't hold any reality into what's actually happening. You know, because otherwise, why would the Switch be so low on the recent games that they're actually working on? You know, especially the Switch 2. So, I mean, I would think with how popular and everything that Switch 2 is supposed to be, that would be one of the bigger priorities that a lot of the projects should be working on right now. But apparently, according to their numbers, it's only like 18% current and recent projects. So PC for the win, man. As far as like the developers go, they just making the games, and the thing about Xboxes are going to make it easy, you know, for that. So to have your game accessible on their platform in the future. So yeah, there's nothing to really make a big deal about, I don't think. Just people looking for more ammunition and something that doesn't matter.
Exactly. I agree with that. Hargeet, your thoughts?
Well, first we got Spartan gifts 20.
Yes. Spartan,
More.
thank you so much. Wow, that's another 20.
Update memberships. And then Lotus is free. 20
Lotus.
gifted
Wow, thank you so much.
memberships. All right. So this is yet another one of these, right? It's how you frame things. Everything has to be framed in the Xbox is dead. So the reality is that the developer isn't the one choosing. In most cases, unless you're an indie developer, the developer isn't the one choosing. It's a publisher. And even in the case of indie developers, a lot of them go through a publisher to get money so they can make the game. So, and that publisher will say, you're going to put it here, here, and here. I don't care what you say. So that's kind of the way it goes. And so you see the disjoint of the reality versus what they want to do, right? The only one where it's very close is PC, because look, they're developing on PC. It's very simple to then just say deploy, just publish, right? Go to Steam, go to whichever store, don't care. You are now on PC as a sellable item, right? Simple enough, right? And publishers, they want to sell on PC. Why? Like I think it was Holly, you said it's the largest install base. Yeah, exactly. You want that install base. You want to hit as many users as possible, as many potential customers as possible. You're gonna put your games there. The other platforms all require extra work. There's dev kits, there's certifications, and blah 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 blah. Right. So certainly a lot of the publishers see, wow, there's a lot of the Nintendos out there. What's the cost to get it there? How much do I have to? Okay, is it worth it or not? Right. So that's kind of where that is. And right, as far as the enthusiasm for Switch 2 versus actual who's doing it, it comes down to metrics. Are you going to sell enough copies? How many Switch 2s are there out there? How many Switch 1s are there out there? Will the game take a lot of effort to port over because the Switch 1 doesn't have enough oomph? All these things come into the mix, right? So they do the metrics and figure it out. And the people doing that, publisher. It's not the dev, it's the publisher. The publisher is going to say, it's not worth it for me to spend $80,000 to port this game because I won't get that back. That's it. It's just that simple. It's just that stupid, right? Like it is what it is, right? So for any given game, they're going to figure that out, right? So The dev kit being extremely similar between Xbox and PC does give them a slight advantage there. So they do have a little less overhead. However, it's still overhead. I won't take that away. It's still overhead. Right. And the better Microsoft makes it, and as we move into the next gen where it's going to be essentially the same, that just takes away yet another barrier. You just say, oh, you want to make it on PC? No problem. Cool. You want to check that little box there? Okay, now it's available in the Xbox store and we're done. We don't need you to do anything else. That's it. That's it. Just check that little box there and we're done. You can now give it to us on Xbox. Right. That's what they're looking to get to. Perfect. Like, just take away the barrier, right? And that way, everybody's just like making it for PC anyway. 83%, like they're publishing on PC. And by the way, the rest of it is not, oh, it's going to this console. No, the rest of it's mobile. They're publishing on mobile. So, it's and you can see the numbers. It was like 16, 18%, something like that. That delta is mobile. They're making games for mobile. As far as the games that are being made for the consoles, they're pretty much all being made except for Nintendo's, but very small first party titles. That catalog, outside of that, they're all coming to PC. So everything is going PC anyway, right? So that's kind of how I see it. The beauty is for us as Xbox gamers, it's already been told to us by Sarah Bond, they are going to go with a multi store option with the next console. Then we will have access to other stores as we move forward. And as long as I've got access to that Steam store, I've got access to all the games. So I don't really care. So everything's available to me. That survey is really just, and it's a bunch of developers who go there to learn what's going on in the industry. But as I'm just like telling you the internals of how development works. A developer may want something. Owner of development house or publisher has very different ideas. They need to make money, and they don't care what you think. They care what the customer will buy, and they're going to go by metrics of that, and they're going to put games wherever they want to put them to make money. If Microsoft walked over and said, "Hey, that Game Pass," you're going to expect that game is going to be made for that freaking console because that's getting them money. That's it. It's just that simple, right? So whether the developer wanted it or not is 100% irrelevant. It just is what it is. I think Matthew mentioned, it's like, what is your favorite platform? Yeah, it's not relevant what your favorite platform is. It's where you're going to get money. That's it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's what I read from that. Look, and going into the future, we will see how things go as far as actual development, but it doesn't matter. To me, it's always going to be the same thing. The publisher wants money. As long as you can provide a customer base, you're going to get your games over there. But anyway, do you want to read that? E-Ranks. That survey seems like worse news for PlayStation. Imagine having all those console sales and over half the devs out there are like, nah. And he's right. Like, there are a lot of games that are PC only. And people just don't seem to like recognize that exists, but there is a lot of stuff that is PC only.
Yep.
They don't generally tend to be the larger games, but there are some very large games that are PC only. I don't think CS:GO 2 has ever made it over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as I was saying,
League of
like,
Legends.
CS:GO 2 has not moved over.
Yep.
Dota has not moved over. League of Legends. They just
World of
put one of
Warcraft.
those over though. World of Warcraft, but they have another one. What's the other one? The League of Legends people. They have another game, right? That I think finally came to console.
Honkai Star Rail?
No, well,
The
no,
handheld,
that one came
the fighting
over.
one, right? The fighting game.
I just can't
Genshin?
remember the name of it. No, Genshin made it over to PlayStation first, and now it's everywhere else. No, it was another one that they have, but either way, I can't remember the name. Again, that's it. There are a lot of those big games that start out PC only and may stay PC only.
Yeah.
And then there are a whole bunch of other ones that are just PC only. So, but either way, I don't. This is to me like it's a non-issue. Like whatever.
Yeah. When it comes down to it.
Hello, I like money.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
That's what it's all about, right there.
Yep.
We'll remove that, and but good topic though. It's something I definitely want to cover. But like I said, there's a lot of doom and gloom that comes over. A lot of big, a lot of big headlines. Yeah. I don't think so. Don't think so. But speaking of that, the actually not so dead part. Let's see if we can go to share this screen and bring this up. This and Hargeet, I'll let you read this. This is a little bit of a read, so let me bring it up here. And
All right. So, oh wow. The upcoming Xbox console, slated for release in 2027, will allow players to access games from digital stores other than the Xbox Store, such as Steam and the Epic Games Store. This move is part of Microsoft's strategy to make its platform more open and flexible, similar to the PC experience, aiming to give players more choices and reduce their reliance on a single store. Multiple store support, openness to third-party stores, the console is expected to run on an operating system closer to full Windows, enabling support for other digital stores like Steam, the Epic Games Store, and GOG. Benefits for developers and players. This change gives developers more flexibility in distributing their games across stores with different price structures and provides players with access to a wider library of games and more competitive pricing options. Microsoft's vision. Xbox head Sarah Bond confirmed that Microsoft's vision is centered on creating a gaming platform that is not locked to a single store or tied to a single device. Backward compatibility. The next generation of Xbox will maintain full compatibility with the entire existing Xbox game library, Xbox One, 360 original. I would add series console games, but yeah. Is that the end of it?
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, so yeah, we already saw this from Sarah Bond, right? She already told us this is what they're doing, and yeah, this seems to be an interesting path. I like it, I love it, I think it's great, but we'll see, right? What do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. Mav, you want to start this time? What are your thoughts on a next gen console?
Sounds great to me, man. I mean, we lived in that world already on PC, but combining the full compatibility of the past console library as well is the big key component to this, because otherwise you could just get a PC and hook it up to a TV or laptop or whatever, you know what I mean? But enabling the full content library of your past, as well as enabling current gen or what will be current gen games, and also options for competitors to competitor storefronts as well, is best for us as a consumer, right? Could you imagine Windows PC right now if you were only forced to use the Microsoft Store and the Xbox Store only? That's the world that you live in on most devices, right? Like you live in that world on Apple, right? You live in that world on PlayStation and on Xbox console right now and all that kind of stuff. But that's changing, you know? I feel like that should be the norm. If you buy a consumer device, you should have access to all the options available to you. That's what we should want, right? So this was a big controversial move because everybody's like, it's not going to be good for Xbox. We're not going to do this, not going to do that. All these other kind of things are going to get out of the space. They're not going to stop making games and all this stuff. I'm looking at it from my perspective as a gamer. Yes, I'll buy that and I'll have access to everything, including everything I already own. Jackpot, I win. And that's what I want, you know. It remains to be seen exactly how it's all going to play out. The library compatibility for the past consoles has been the biggest question for me, exactly how it's going to work, because you're crossing over barriers there between the open-ended PC architecture and structure from a closed ecosystem, right? So you're kind of marrying the two. And with the licensing and all that kind of stuff was involved to get over those hurdles and all that. I'm not sure what they all have to do, but ever since these became rumors and a lot of the other moves that they started making, we started calling it like, I think they're all hands on deck on unifying the ecosystem. We just saw the preview build for the new cloud gaming browser, which a lot of journalists have picked up on, that is going to be seems like it's going to be the new face of the UI that's going to be potentially across all devices in the future. So it's a starting point there, and I think they're making headway. I think they're really getting close to realizing this vision, that we got to see it revealed We got to see what the device is going to look like. We're going to have to see how much it's going to be. And once it is implemented, I wonder what kind of capabilities will translate also just to regular PCs instead of just that device, right? Will the PC that I have get updates to allow me to access the console library as well? Or do you have to buy one of those devices, you know, specifically for that purpose because of the licensing and stuff involved there? So there's a lot of questions still, but I love where they're going with that. With this, it is going to be a more expensive enthusiast-based device as well, as they get less reliant on doing big numbers in console sales. They are more reliant on spreading to more consumers in as many places as possible. With this as an option for us as enthusiasts, right? So we're going to have to see how their numbers do with, you know, content and services, and keep selling their games and growing in more places while they're doing this as well, because that's the vision for them. I think it's going to be an interesting year or two ahead to see the transition, right? We're kind of in this, I almost feel like it was forced in a way, this confusing transition period for a lot of like us console enthusiasts, right? Whereas Xbox started making these changes, and we're kind of, I think we're in this like limbo right now, where it's like, wait. Because could you imagine if we went from traditional, just, hey, this is how it is today, everything console, close, blah, 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 and then immediately they announce something like with the next gen console, and it's like this whole shebang, and we're going multi-plat and all these other things. People would have lost their damn minds. We already did, a lot of us, with the changes that they had been making. But I feel like there's this kind of like transitional limbo period for their fan base to come to terms and acceptance over what this new future is going to be. But I think overall for the gamers, if this does pan out and everything works like they are hoping, and everything releases like they're hoping, and the games keep coming and flowing and all that kind of stuff, I think this is going to be the best possible scenario for all of us, because you can just get a device, put it on your TV. You can have it instead of a traditional PC and use it as a PC as well. And you can have all your storefronts. You have a more streamlined gaming structured UI that's geared more towards the gamer. You just have all your storefronts available to you to shop the best deals that you have. You have all of the games that never release on console available to you. You have all your Xbox console games available to you. You have the third-party games, or like not third-party, but you have like the PlayStation games that go to Steam and all that stuff as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all in on the vision. I just hope they are. I hope Microsoft sticks to it and delivers and doesn't get cold feet on anything. You know, just I think it's the right path. So
I agree with you for sure, 100%. I really think that this is, I mean, the future. You know, Microsoft. You know, for whatever reason, you know, whether people the console war part. Yeah, no matter how much I'm a fan of the Xbox ecosystem, but the whole, you know, PlayStation better and all this kind of stuff, and console sales and all that lies that they throw at you is just absolute garbage. It's where you can play your games was what matters. I know, and nothing more satisfying than with my ROG Ally X and sitting there playing Ghost of Tsushima on it, which is nice, and then also playing Dispatch on it as well, you know, through the Steam store, and it's like, oh, I don't have to wait, or it's there already, you know, kind of thing. And then, like somebody said in the chat earlier, you know, just wait till it comes out, the Wolverine game comes out on Steam, and then you'll be able to play that as well when it comes out to Steam on your ROG Ally X, which supposedly the new system is going to be, you know, capable of doing those same kind of things. But something else to point out, and this is, I mean, I know it's technically not officially announced, but I know I've heard from a lot of different insiders and background type stuff. I won't say what the title is I've heard, but I believe that before the end of the year, there will be an official PlayStation first party game officially announced to come out on the Xbox that will be a former exclusive and a big franchise tentpole. But we'll see. We'll see what happens for sure. Holly, your thoughts on this new Xbox and where Xbox is going? Are you excited?
Well, I think,
Mhm.
it's kind of sad, but to say it like this, but out of Xbox's declining sales,
Mhm.
right, and smaller market, right, and large acquisition purchases and what that demanded, the stressors that they were put under to recoup their money has made it ultimately better for us as consumers, right?
Mhm.
Which isn't usually the case on how that kind of stuff works, but
Right.
in this weird gaming world, that is what happened. We're able to, now reap the benefits of having a much larger pool of games to access and in different ways to access them, because Xbox inherently pivoted everything. And so, I use my Series X every day, but I primarily have switched over to PC myself with most of my stuff in the last couple years. But I still plan on getting the next Xbox and having that in my living room. And it's like, to Mav's point, like the thing that is the big question mark is, like, you see what they're doing with the Ally X and how they're trying to do Play Anywhere. They're pushing Play Anywhere
Mhm.
really, really hard, right? Which is important for those of us who have kind of, mostly moved a lot of their stuff over to PC, because you don't want to buy things twice, right? Who wants to buy things twice unless I like find a game on sale for like, $5-10, right?
Right.
Which usually isn't the case with the games that you really want to buy a second time. But the problem is you did spend a lot of money on your previous Xbox library. And so, and what we've seen as far as the amount of older titles that they've been able to give you that access for the PC version is very small. And that's just it's a matter of functionality, right? Like, I think it's really difficult to go back to Rockstar and say, hey, everybody that bought the Xbox version of Red Dead Redemption should get the free PC version, right? And then be like, oh yeah, sure, no problem, right? It's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not a thing. So that's just, I'm interested to see how they navigate all of that in the future. Like Mav said, cloud is great if you're at home and there's not a queue, and right, but it's at least not for now. It's not the be all end all to everything and accessibility for everyone. So I think the next Xbox is going to be really, really cool. And I hope people can see the potential that's actually there, because I think for the casual gamer, they're not going to get it, right? They're not, I mean, as far as not get the box, but they're just not going to understand how big of a deal that it actually is, that now you have all this access and now you have all this freedom, and you can find sales and you can do all these other things that PC guys were doing that you don't need to worry about. So we'll see.
There you go. Welcome out to the over 201 people watching us live right now on X and on YouTube. Thank you all so much for joining us. Holly, great points for sure. Hargeet, was that you? Just kidding. No, it was me. I'm just with you. Hargeet's like, what?
I've been on mute the whole time.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Bombastic side eye.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how they like market it to the console, like like the traditional Xbox fans that are just like, I only want to play on a console. I don't want all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, because right now the experience of like on the Ally X is not as easy of setup and stuff as just like plugging it in, you know, and a lot of people are maybe going to struggle with that aspect unless they really streamline it. And I think they're still working on some of that, and especially if it's OEM devices too, because like if it is OEM and if they don't do their own, which we'll see, if they do their own or they do OEM, whatever, the system will still be the same. I think it'll be a different device, right? But like if they are doing OEM as well, they'll have different partners that they'll have different, like, you know, like Asus will have the Armory crate. You know what I mean? If it's like like maybe HP comes out with one and they have like an Omen device and they'll have their HP thing, or you know what I mean? So they have all these other layers that they have to work with, and they have to kind of streamline how all these updates are going to work together and all this kind of stuff. So in a sense, I think they still should do their own device to set a standard, right? And have that be the example, but because they need a device available for the diehard console enthusiasts.
Would love a new powerful Xbox in time for TV.
Oh yes, that'd be
Grand
amazing.
Theft Auto 6. Yes.
Yeah, they need that device. I think that's like the easy stepping stone.
Ran it all together.
You know what I mean? That's like the easy stepping stone, the natural progression as possible. Because like, you know, like Shizno in the chat, like, yeah, I only want a console ever. I'll always be a console. You know, like, so how do we get the Shizno able to embrace it's really a PC Xbox,
right?
You know what I mean? And like it's got to be streamlined to the point to where it doesn't seem like PC at all. Really, it's so easy and simple, and it's going to be interesting to see how they market that. But also the cost, it's going to be a lot more expensive too. So, you know, console enthusiasts are used to paying $400-$500, you know, for consoles. You know, this is going to come out and it's not going to be that, you know what I mean? It's not going to be that. So you're trying to graduate this audience into this new idea. But it's not, the thing that's interesting with Xbox is they're not solely dependent on that succeeding, which is the crazy thing. Like, you know, Xbox has always been, and it was the same thing with all these brands, it's been so dependent on having to have the hardware be the driving factor, where Xbox is like, it's no longer the driving factor, it's a core factor, you know. So how much of an effort are they going to make into bringing the Shiznos along and stuff like that? You know, and I'm just using you as an example, Shizno, because I see you in all of my chats and in some of the chats here, and you're saying a lot of that, you know, I'm console all the way. I don't want all that PC stuff and everything, right? So I am just curious about that transition and how that's going to play out, because there's a lot of people that just are used to buying a box, plugging in the HDMI, plugging in the power cord, you know, hitting the button, it does this little update thing, and that's it. You know, and I don't think that's the world we're going to be living in anymore.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think in like you said, they've got to make it simpler. They've got to make it to where it's effortless. In other words, when you fire up your quote unquote Xbox PC, whatever you want to call it, Xbox Hybrid, whatever you want to call it, Xbox Next, Xbox Deluxe, whatever you want to call it, whatever it's going to be named, called Series 2.0, whatever it is, that is going to be seamless. In other words, it doesn't have, it should function as far as a console, period. Simplicity, ready to go, boom. But you're able to do much more with it, and you're able to incorporate and bring in other, you know, games and titles and stuff that you normally wouldn't do. I mean, maybe setup is when you log into your Xbox account, and then you also have like, okay, cool, now here, log into your Steam account, and then here, log into your, you know,
well, to
other
that
account.
point, did you, like, when I swear I remember Phil talking about them having partnerships or like being very friendly with Epic and itch.io, right? And when I got this Ally X, Steam was installed and maybe GOG. I don't remember.
GOG was, yep.
But there was no Epic. And then I had to like figure, you know.
In case anyone forgot, at that blue number continues to do no wrong.
Thank you, Lotus.
Thank you, Lotus.
Is amazing.
He is.
Lotus is a great community member. But like, you know, I said you have to find out how to get behind the shell to open the windows, to go download the Epic, to put it into the Armory crate, and then log it. So like, you know, I wanted to do that because I have a lot of games on Epic, and so I use Epic a lot. And for somebody who, like to Matt's point, like I'm just a console player. I sit down, I hit. There's one store. I look for what I want. I find the thing. I buy it. Or you know, Steam in big picture is really nice, but if you have to do something behind the scenes, you know, it becomes a little cumbersome. So I don't know what they're going to do about that, but there has to be something. Are they going to have like an app store or like an apps like you would download Netflix on your Xbox, right? You could download the Epic Game Store. You could download this and it won't ever, like you'd have to really make an effort to get into that Windows mode just to keep it simple for most people. I don't know. Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because the Windows mode itself is going to require its own updates and all those things. You know what I mean? Like it's
going to have to do all that behind the scenes, right?
Yeah. What if you have to enable secure boot?
Oh, well.
Like for the high guard thing, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, you know, it's just going to be a little bit more interesting because like there will be a lot of PC games played on that device, you know, and how will Xbox differentiate their own releases as well? That's going to be a really interesting thing to look at.
Do you think like, for example of that, Delta Force, right, was on PC for quite a while before it eventually came to console, right? But when it was on PC, it had the same thing, right? You had to download this like kernel level anti-cheat and all this stuff, right? Do the secure boot, all that. So like, eventually they got that to a point where they were like, we'll just put it on a console and it does all of the things it needs to do in the background and et cetera, et cetera. So then like maybe these machines, like maybe you have a choice. Maybe it's like, well, you can, if you feel confident enough, you can access this game on Steam and do this thing, or you can wait and just do the console version later, or a more, you know, console player friendly version later.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Even Avowed, I had to update my BIOS for Avowed. It was weird. I had been playing it and there was an update, and then all of a sudden it came out with this thing where I had to enable something and some security thing or something, and then my PC wasn't set up for it, so I had to go into the BIOS. It turns out I ended up having to go download the latest BIOS software for Asus, and I did that. You know, and it was all this huge deal. And then it wasn't, because I did that, like the regular Windows setup I had was no longer compatible because I had to enable like this AI suite. This whole shebang happened because I played Avowed, and I was like, Avowed's a single player game. It didn't even make any dang sense that I had to do all this stuff for that. But like, that's the kind of I got through it, right? But like, those are the kind of things that it'll be interesting to see how it's handled, you know, on something that is a hybrid, right?
It's like you don't even want to talk about that kind of stuff around console players because you know it freaks them out so bad. And you're just like, I should just keep my mouth shut. But I really...
Yep. Which I hate that stuff too. It comes up once in a blue moon, you know, it's like a rare thing. And the majority of the time, experience is amazing. Like I'm playing Arc Raiders at like 140 frames per second right now.
Yep.
Nice.
And ultra wide. The graphics are amazing. It's just like you're not going to get that experience on a console, you know. And but
there's always that one thing that comes up.
Occasionally there'll be a thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
There you go. Hargeet, you want to read that comment? And then we'll get to your point.
Sure. The Duck of Death. This is why I question this console dream rumor. How can you expect PC capabilities in a console on the cheap? Like you'll lay back while they feed you grapes too? Look, your Series S and X already are Windows. They're just very stripped down Windows. All they're doing here is they're saying, we're just going to expose more. And so I don't know how to really like make this, if you don't know what virtual machines are, it's going to be very hard to kind of explain this. But essentially, you have a system that runs on your processor, your basic system hardware. And then underneath it, it says, okay, I'm going to create this virtual instance to run Xbox 360, which is how you get backwards compatibility with 360 games. I'm going to create a virtual instance that runs Xbox Original. That's how you get your backwards compatibility with that. They're just saying we're going to do the same thing and say, here's a layer that gives you a bit more Windows. So that game thinks it's running on Windows, but it doesn't know that it's not really running on Windows. So they can just do that, right? And so whatever security layer it needs, whatever all that stuff it needs, it's going to just handle that within that layer. You don't do any security update for the Xbox 360 that runs inside your Xbox Series console. They just handle it, right? So I don't expect it to really, from a functionality perspective, look much different to you. You're just going to plug it in. It's going to say, hey, I have my monthly patch. It'll have the little bar at the bottom, and it does its patch, and it's done. That'll take care of all the crap that it needs to. Whatever it needs to do in the background, it does it. I don't know even with the OEMs that it wouldn't have the same thing, because ultimately they're saying it's Project Magnus that's going to do this. And Project Magnus is a specified piece of hardware. Right? So they would control the entire bloody thing. They will know exactly what's in there. The only differences that can really be are the speeds, right? What performance level you're going to run that clock rate at. And that's not going to change your drivers. It's not going to change your OS. They're going to control that. So to me, that's where I see it going. So you should expect the experience to be very similar to what you have today, with the added exception of you now have access to another store, because lo and behold, Microsoft is Microsoft, and they actually have the code that runs Windows gaming. So they can just take that and say, oh, I have it here now. And so for them, that's the big magic. How do they bring that instance over? So when you kick off a Steam game, it brings up a Steam virtual machine, which basically is just running Windows. And for you, you don't care. It just runs your game. That's it. You don't care what it's doing in the background, right? You just care that it runs your game. So from my perspective, that's what I see. Where it becomes problematic, PCs are still PCs. So there are times when the game itself does weirdo stuff. They'll have to work through that. That's just the way it is, right? There might be a couple of games here and there that do odd things. And they might, like if you play games on for those who have it, the ROG Ally, it'll tell you, hey, this game has like text that's too small, or this game has this weird little glitch because it expects a keyboard, right? They'll just tell you that, right? That, hey, there's going to be this oddity. Are you sure you want to play it, right? I think that's basically where they take it. So you would still be able to play your game from another store. They'll just warn you, maybe this will happen, that kind of thing, right? So I don't know. That's kind of where I see it going, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. It may be that it is far more Windows than it is console. I expect it to be far more console than I expect it to be Windows, because I think they want to still sell Windows to you, and you can go buy your PC and have a Windows experience that can be made into a console-like experience. But it's not going to be a full console-like experience. So those are just my thoughts. Like, if I read between the lines of what they're saying, that's where I see it going. Is I think it's going to have two disjoint things. There's going to be the console, and then there's going to be Windows, which will act somewhat like a console, but will still be Windows, which is all the stuff that you guys are mentioning, like all the headaches of updating the different parts that you have to deal with yourself, and Windowsy issues with certain games, or Windowsy issues in general, right? Because it is still a full-blown OS, right? That's kind of the downside of it being Windows, whereas console should just be very stripped down console only. So that's what I'm expecting to see, but we'll see what they do, right? They could also make a Windows 12 that says, hey, do you want to be a console? Cool. I will strip out everything and make it a console, right? That's an option. I just don't know if they'll have the hardware, like you're mentioning, and Mavi was saying something about the backwards compatibility. I think that's going to be based on the hardware. It's going to be baked into the hardware. So Magnus will be required for you to be able to play your backwards. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know if that's going to be required or not, but I think that's the easiest way for them to say this is still an Xbox, and our licensing, our legal licensing, still works because this is still an Xbox. It is basically still requiring you to have Xbox hardware, right?
They're going to market it as two devices in one. It's an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a
right.
PC. Yeah.
and yet you have access to the PC library, which is like the best case for everybody. Like now you have access to a console-like interface, console-like experience, console library plus PC library, right? Hopefully that's where they're going. Will they get there? I don't know. Will it execute correctly? I don't know. Right? Will there be growing pains? Probably. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Why so serious?
Sorry, had to get that out. So yeah, so much potential is coming. But how soon will we hear about it?
Yeah, I mean this is an interesting one, right? Like the
Go for it.
spyware. I think a lot of this is there's metrics and telemetry that's being pulled, and then there's also a lot of fear about AI. I hate to break it to you, but your current consoles all do that too.
Your phones do that. I mean, guys, I remember when everybody was like, your Kinect's going to be watching you in your living room.
They
What is on your phone? It's a camera. You take it with you everywhere in the bathroom. Like you have the speaker, microphone, and camera with you almost 24/7 a day, and you're worried about the Kinect camera listening to you. It was the stupidest thing.
But yeah, like unfortunately, the current systems 100% are getting all this telemetry on you all the time, and they are leveraging that and selling that. That's 100%. They're absolutely selling that information. A lot of publishers want to know who's doing what, who's playing what, how much exposure they had from their game. Some of it they can get themselves. Some of it they can't get, and they get that from the platform holders. So they're already doing it. So if you think you're gonna get away from that by getting a console, it's already happening.
Stop everything, play my damn theme song.
Peel up. Alrighty. Well, we'll do it. Here you go, Peel up.
They see me rolling.
Watch him rolling. Watch him go. Watch him rolling. Watch him go. He'd be rolling down the street. He'd be rolling to the beat.
There you go, Peel up.
Peel Ump's theme song starts with Limp Bizkit.
It does, because he's Peel Ump is in a wheelchair, so he has wheels and he rolls everywhere.
Right on.
But he's a very cool dude. So yeah, he's a wild man, that's for sure. And I tell you, he has no limitations. I'll tell you that right now, especially when he gets to drinking. But just kidding. He actually does like 8 hours, 10-hour, 12-hour podcast. I've heard some of those craziness. Yeah. They do talk about a lot of gaming and some other things too. So it gets a little wild over there with P Lump, but that's all right. That's all right. P Lump, thank you for joining us, man. Great to have you here. So Power Wheels, that's right. I don't have any of the videos that like Shaun has that he plays on We Bleed Green or TTS, but those are some pretty funny ones as well too. So yeah, but he's in good spirits because he's a good guy. All right, so let's change this up just a little bit. I know since we're kind of talking about this. I guess they've more.
Let me interject a little bit. We have 15 minutes left, I think, with Holly. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. We need to. I forgot about it. When should we wrap things up on time?
Yeah. So, do you have a particular topic that you want to go into, Holly? I don't know if you have the full topic list or not. But
I have the topic list. Let me look really fast. Well, we some of these I feel like are landmines.
What? No. When have I ever put a landmine? When have I ever? What?
Oh.
I think we'll have to talk about the financials at some point as well. If that is a topic of interest, you're probably not interested. But either way,
we can do that later. We can do
yeah.
Wrap that up.
That one's not so much. That one's not so much my jam. We could talk about Marathon.
We could.
All right.
Let me bring that up.
Let's talk about Marathon.
Well, all right, you go ahead and start talking about Marathon. Your
show that controller off.
The control. I don't have the picture of the controller because I thought the controller was garbage. But sorry, I do have the article about the about the thing coming out. Yeah, for sure. I think Hargeet's going to find that controller thing. I mean,
I got it.
Don't know.
I mean,
all right, you go for it. All right, cool.
I'll send it to you.
I appreciate that.
Sorry. I just sent it to you. Actually, it's a controller and a headset. My bad. It's a controller and a headset.
Wow.
You know, Sony, like, I don't know what it is with Sony. Like, Xbox is very, very, very far from perfect, but damn it, they've got all of their peripheral stuff down and on lock. Their graphic artists are on fire. And then you go to Sony and you're like, how does this stuff come out like this? Like there's a lot of really good opportunities with the stuff that they have, and like this, it's like they printed out some random ass stickers and just slapped it on there, and I'm just like,
yeah, that's so bad,
dude, really? Like they have so much potential in so many of their games. Like the God of War one was not great, right? Like the only one I think this year that this generation that I've really liked is the Astrobot one. And I will even admit that is not like mind blowing, right? In the way it is. It's just really cute because Astrobot's really cute and his little eyes on the touchpad is cute.
That was cute.
But it's not groundbreaking, right?
No.
So this, Marathon. So this is limited edition. You can go get your controller and headset if you are interested. I'm honestly surprised that they're even doing a controller and a headset for this game. The drama and the long road that we've gone to get here. It's a tough one. I don't know how many people are buying this. I hope it does well. I hope Marathon does okay, because Bungie's in a real bit of pickle, and there's a lot of people there that work there that don't necessarily have anything to do with the reasons that it's in the pickle that it is. But with all of the things that have happened, I'm concerned for Marathon. I have seen, though, that they've had some people in over the last few months to come and check out what they've done to change things up a bit. They took some of the feedback from when they were going to launch. They did the dev, and then shortly after that, it was like the day before, right, that the stolen art story came out.
Yep.
Like the day before their last big dev direct kind of thing. And then people left. Then the person who they stole the art from came out and just said, I've been successfully accommodated. Basically, they got the bag and they walked away, right? I think. And they think they did change some of the art, but I don't know. It seems like some of the feedback that they got about it being too color bland and some of the actual like gunplay mechanics and things like that, sounds like they went and they did some work on that to liven it up a bit. I don't know. We'll see. I've seen a few people who have been actually saying that they're going to get this and they're going to try it out and they're going to play it. So I don't know. Maybe it's got a little more oomph in it than I anticipated it does. I would like to play it, but I don't want to pay $40.
Exactly. If it was free, I'd try it. Paying it? No.
It's just I am obsessed with art graders. It's like all I want to play. So for me to think about trying a different extraction shooter and also paying $40 for that one, when I just don't think it's got the same hook as Arc Raiders does, it's a hard sell for me.
Yeah, I'll agree. Mav, your thoughts on the controller and Marathon in general?
Like, the controller and the headset look like shit. Just like most of their like special limited edition stuff. I don't know who designs that shit there, but they need to be fired and they need to hire new artists. Like, there's a million people that could come up with better stuff than they release for their special editions. For the brands that they have and everything, for the crap that they throw on them, for like, it just looks like garbage. So yeah, as far as the headset and controller go, I won't be touching those. I will give my Marathon a go. I mean, I partly, because of how into Arc Raiders I am, it's got me more interested in extraction shooters, actually. So This being a first-person one, it kind of has me intrigued if I can get some of that classic Bungie gameplay in there. The fact that they added prox chat and stuff as well has me intrigued to see how that plays out. So I'll give it a go and see how I like it. I like some of the changes that they made, and I don't like some of them. I don't like the aesthetic change that they made to like the guns and some of the enemies where they look like they're made out of mega blocks. That looks really stupid to me. I think it's kind of like this modular look, which makes sense for the guns a little bit because you can kind of tell what pieces are customized on them. You could really customize your guns. But yeah, it's just kind of weird, like the super blocky modular aesthetic on some things is a little off-putting to me. However, some of the world, I like some of the stuff they have going on with the story behind the world and some of the CG stuff that we've seen. So it's intriguing in some ways. I have a love for Bungie in the past. I could never get super into Destiny like a lot of people did, but going back to my OG Halo days, Destiny 1, I really enjoyed my first playthrough, getting through that the initial campaign originally, playing through all those levels, but I can never really get into the long-term grind aspect of Destiny. But I think it's interesting to see them doing something different now. It's worth it for me to give it a shot just to see if I like it. It looks way better than it did in many ways as far as mechanics goes. So we'll see. I hope it does succeed though, just because I want Bungie to stick around. But they're also not the same Bungie that we know. You know what I mean? It's
right.
They're not even the same Bungie from the Destiny days. Let's just be real. Yeah. Definitely not the same ones from the Halo days, and they're just still not the same ones from the Destiny days. So I don't really know who they are these days, but the name still matters to me. So we'll see.
They have a pretty famous cast for this, for the voice acting too.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I got my Marathon Collector's Edition yesterday. Will go well with my Concord controller. Trying to decide if I want to open or save it for resale.
Stick it on a shelf.
Save it.
Yeah.
Definitely save it.
I am really curious how well it does. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, and Elias Tufexis.
The first CG trailer they had when they did the full reveal was so cool, and then they revealed the gameplay after it, and I was like, oh, But some of the stuff they've had in their latest videos and stuff seemed quite a bit better. But I don't know why they went to that blocky design on stuff. Some people like it, but I don't know. I don't really like that.
Definitely gonna take some getting used to. I don't know. Hargeet, your thoughts here before we let Holly escape?
So before that, I guess we should just mention Broke Boy gives 5 WEBDAVE memberships.
Thank you so much, Broke Boy. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look, this isn't a game for me. Ever since they announced it, it was just not a game for me. We'll see where it goes. There's rumors that it got a little bit better with newer builds, but I don't know, right? It's just hard to tell where things are. So when it comes out, good luck to them. This is a paid for game, so that's gonna be a little bit of a barrier. I don't know how this is gonna do when Arc Raiders is kind of taking up all the oxygen. Maybe it comes out and it beats it. Good luck. I don't know. It's a tough time right now for trying to introduce a new one. When you've had Battlefield come out and it's also it's just kind of plummeted in usage as far as a number of players now. Even though it did really well, it went pretty high, and now it's kind of like whatever. And then Arc Raiders, I think it's still doing okay. And now we just got a new one, High Guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess for that game it did okay, right? But it's kind of tough, and they have to kind of introduce this, and force people to pay $40 to play it. I don't know. It's got an uphill battle, and once you have that like negative word of mouth, it's very difficult to kind of overcome that, especially in this kind of genre. So we will see what happens. There is a potential that they put it in PS Plus, even go over to the other side, put it in Game Pass or something like that. Maybe that'll give it some growth. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll just work. Maybe people will buy it. It's Bungie, and they're like, oh, it's Bungie, it's got to be great, and people will just buy it anyway. That's fine.
Some of the sad reality is that we live in the world today. It's just going to be dependent also on how much the big streamers stick with it. They'll all play it at launch and maybe for like a few days. But will it catch on with them, and does it do well with their audiences?
Right.
And that's going to be a big factor.
Paid to do that, right? So
they will get paid, but after they're done getting paid, do they keep
exactly
playing it? All right, that's what I mean. Like
exactly,
because if it's still generating good things for them and their viewerships, and it's growing, it like that's happened with Arc Raiders.
Then they'll keep on it.
Crazy. Everybody's making Arc Raiders content.
Peanut wasn't sponsored, and he blew up like wildfire, right?
And now tons of people are making content about Peanut.
Yep.
You can see it all over the place. All these channels are about him. You know what I mean? And then you have, Arc Raiders is a phenomenal.
That sarcastic Taurus celebrates 28 months of membership.
Yay! They're maintaining that user base, and they came up with updates, and they're going to keep doing it. The thing is with Marathon, you're gonna have everybody playing it at launch, like all those streamers and stuff. But when the sponsorship thing is done, or when this is, do they continue, or do they just go back to Arc, right? And that's going to be an interesting thing to watch, because this is kind of like the symbiotic relationship in these kind of games, it seems like, with some of those big streamers, and how well they actually do, because they're the ones that like are kind of
at Spartan 6616 celebrates 24 months of membership.
Well, to your point too, they're the ones making the crazy clips and people going, I want to try that, right? Like, which is the part of the fun, right? Or that sort of symbiotic relationship too.
Yeah. Will it have those moments too, that Arc Raiders generates that do create those clips?
Because Arc Raiders has all these unique, like,
you had to be there moments.
Stuff, right. Yeah, exactly. There's all kinds. I just saw one. A guy was on Prox Chat open, and he was playing the Mario boop, boop, boop. And he was walking around the map, and every time there was a bounce sound, he would jump up on a box or do this, right? And he would run past random players, and they would capture. It's just fun stuff like that, that the community in that game lives and dies by the Prox Chat that's there, which is hilarious, because that was the very first thing that Bungie was like, oh, no, we can't have Prox Chat. We can't have Prox Chat. That would be terrible. We could never do that, right? And then that was the first thing they brought back. We're going to see a ton of extraction shooters now. It's going to be one after the other after the other. It was Battle Royale. Now it's going to all be extractions.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Let's see. I see you. Alrighty then. And on that note, Holly's going to be dipping out, so we want to make sure that we give her proper flowers and let her a chance to exit properly, like a lady. In the corner up there, if you want to, a QR code is set up, and that is a link to her YouTube channel. So all you got to do is just hold up your phone to the TV screen if you're watching on TV, your laptop, or your computer, and you can get you right through. You want to make sure you subscribe to her channel. So Holly, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you and where they can find you.
Thank you. I see you, Harry Ballsack, and I will not fall for your... Thanks for having me, Dave. It was good to talk to all of you again tonight. Thank you, everybody, for letting me be here and share my thoughts. And
we love having you, Holly.
Have the coolest new tech, like this QR code thing is amazing. I love it.
There you go.
That's me. I have a channel and I stream. I'm streaming God of War right now because I've never played it, and I'm getting pretty close to being done with it. But other than that, I do make videos on occasion, and I'm working on another new one. But otherwise, thank you for having me, and I think that's it.
You think you're going to be making it to LA in June, maybe? You going to try?
Maybe.
Is it a maybe?
Maybe.
I'll take the maybe. I'll take the maybe.
Maybe.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to be there because I already got my tickets, planes and hotel rooms and everything's already booked and paid for and everything. Yep. All done in the can. Even remember to ask for time off this time. Yes, just kidding. Time off. We're good. All done. All good to go. Holly, thank you again for joining us, and have a great night. And we love having you on. So you're always welcome here. Always.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All righty. All right, so let's put Hargeet up there on the top with Mav, and since you guys are facing that way, there you go. It looks a little more uniformed, facing each other instead of back to back. Okay, so where do we want to go now, guys? Or do you have points that you wanted to make, Hargeet? Anything else before we move on? I want to make sure I got you covered on that. We good? You good? What's up?
On Marathon, I don't have much to say about Marathon. Good luck to Bungie.
Control looks like garbage, and if it was free to play, or if I got a code or something for it, sure, I'd try it out. Other than that, I'll pass.
If it comes to Game Pass, I don't know.
And you just never know. Sony working them deals behind the scenes with Microsoft. You just never know. Anyway, all righty. Where are we? Mav.
What?
There we go. Are you gonna keep doing that? Is that what you're gonna do? All right. Well, fine.
I'll leave it alone. You can
no. You're good.
I'm just messing around.
That sounds so funny. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? What happened? All right. I knew you were.
I don't know.
I knew you were going to do it.
I don't know which one to go. There we go. All right.
That's perfect. I know. If you flip it this time, it's on you.
What's weird because it's different on StreamYard than it is on your actual YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like backwards. Like if I look on YouTube, it's like one way and then
weird.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It's mirrored.
Is it? Oh, that's strange. Okay, well, you look good here on my preview screen, so we'll just go with that. I don't know.
That doesn't matter at
all. So as we start to wrap things up, do we want to talk about the dashboard at all, the cloud dashboard, or do we want to just go ahead and jump into financials and wrap things up from there?
Let's talk about the cloud dashboard. It's kind of an interesting topic. Mav's upside
down. I love it. Oh my goodness.
Why so serious?
I'll tell you why. Because we're having a lot of fun here. That's for sure. Man, I love having you on, buddy. I love it.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Button. Yep. Exactly.
I didn't know button had 2 D's in it.
It does when Dirk says it. Shit. Shout out to Dirk Riggedy and We Bleed Green and TTS with Shaun. So yeah, and I've also just as a I'll show it now, but when we get ready to I do have Mav's QR code ready to go too for his channel. So there we go. But I'll display that here in just a little bit as we wrap things up. So all right, Hargeet, do you want to talk about this real quick? Read that the top part and then get your thoughts, and then we'll get the Mav's thoughts, and then we'll move on to the final topic.
All right, so let me make it a little bit larger. All right, here we go. So the new Xbox Cloud Gaming Dashboard is very good. It brings some of the better aspects of Xbox PC and Xbox Series XS dashboard design into a single place. It's from our buddy Jez.
Exactly. So what do you guys? What do you think about this, Hargeet? What do you think? Do you like it?
It's certainly a step in the right direction. I guess from a library perspective, it's still limited to games. It's not showing the apps thing. So we'll see if that changes. I'm sure the console will still have apps, right? So that kind of isn't there. But, whatever, those are just minor things that they can work through in the cloud. That doesn't make sense, right? So I get that. So there might be some minor differences based on context, as it were, right? The icons are interesting, right? It has like this is a keyboard and mouse versus a gamepad. That's kind of cool to see. It has a lot of the current like guide from your PC version, right? So it's kind of taking a bit away from what we have over the other side. I guess I don't know what happens when you hit the Xbox guide button. I don't know if they have a picture of that.
I don't. It's the only three I've got.
It's just that's all they have, right? So,
Yeah.
So sure, it's kind of getting more streamlined, but it is a lot more like what you see in the PC arena, not quite what you have on the Xbox side. But again, I haven't played with it, right? So if I actually go look at it, I don't know if I can get to the preview version. This is basically available if you're in the preview for cloud, right? This is a cloud interface. So I'd have to try to like see what they do with it. I'm interested when they try to bring this over to PC to see what that's like, right? We have to I think there's a lot more that needs to happen. So some of the things on PC still need to be streamlined, and we'll see how they make that all happen, right? So that's going to be something we'll have to see. But ultimately, it's okay. Now we have a video, right? So maybe we'll get to see that Xbox guide button. But yeah, it's you just let it run. It's fine.
Yep.
It is interesting. They're starting to change it. I like that we have the background. I don't know that we have that today in the PC side. One of the things that I've noted is I can't set custom backgrounds, which is kind of disappointing. So because I'm kind of used to that on my console, right? I can have a animated background. But so, and I don't even remember if this happens if you do this on the PC app. If it'll show you the game as the background when you go to that game. But these are the kind of things, right? They're stupid. I know it's not the end of the world, but like fit and finish, it just it adds to the experience when you see things like that, right? There's the guide. Okay. So you have your kind of profile. Okay, I get it. Chat. It is certainly a lot more streamlined. If you see what you have on the PC side, there's like 15 different options on the top there that you can go through different tabs on the guide, right? So it's a lot more streamlined. Okay, and then you have like the home and the. All right, so this is much more kind of console-y instead of PC like. But yeah, it's something it's getting there, right? So, but this is very context specific to console, so that's fine. I get that. I kind of want to see the full PC version to see what they do there. And I know the console is still going to have the console capabilities, obviously. So we'll just see what they do there. But yeah, it's looked like it's a lot of steps, right? It's a journey, as I kept saying. We'll get there eventually. This question is how long, right? Is this going to take years? Is this going to be like fast and furious over the next 6 months? They're going to be releasing a whole bunch of different, capabilities. That's what I'd love to see, by the way. I'd like to see them just like plow through this, do like hey, here's a whole new experience around the June showcase time or something, right? And we're gonna have a 2.0 of the full screen experience launching, better than what we've had at the first launch with the ROG Ally, right? So this would be great if they could push that. And I think they are still in preview for the everybody gets the full screen experience thing, right? They're definitely allowing that to the handhelds, but it is coming to everybody. So I think that's still in preview. I hope they have like a massive set of updates ready to go when they release it to everyone to make it much more useful for the general audience. That is not just on a handheld, right? So there's a lot of work to do, but this is a good step in the right direction. But they have a ways to go. So, but I like it. I like continued experience updates. That's good.
There you go. Mab, your thoughts on this? Just looking like the future, going to be simpler. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just they're working on implementing everything with a more universal, dashboard, and it's going to take time with more updates across the board. But I think this is kind of like what they're saying, a glimpse at what the future dashboard is really going to look like, kind of simplified, streamlined. And yeah, I like it. I haven't really been able to mess with it because the preview features aren't enabled for me for the cloud. But I like that they have the library section, like to where you can pull that up instead of just scrolling down, which is the way it was on the previous cloud gaming. You just have to keep browsing down to see your games, but there's like better organization of categories and stuff here, make it more console like. So yeah, like it.
Me too. I'll have to say I agree with that for sure. I like it a lot. I think it's I think we have a lot more to see, like Hargate said. If it's you know, I just had this feeling that it's going to be set to where you can log in to your you know, when like when you very first get a brand new console, you know, what do? You log into your Xbox account if you have one, or create one, then you're able to log into one, and then it'll like the next little page will be like, do you have an Epic Store account? Log in here. Do you have Steam account? Log in here. And then with that, once those are logged into and agreements are agreed to, then boom, they'll populate on them. Maybe there'll be a line for your Steam games, your Epic games, or maybe just your last played in general. You know, those kind of things. If they do those kind of implementations to where it's all seems even more seamless with everything you're able to do, including maybe someday your PlayStation Store. Just saying, what? Those things could happen.
Yeah,
yes.
the one thing I would prefer they not do is like they started when they rolled out Discord to Xbox. It was very bad at the beginning because it was a lot of steps you had to do versus now, right? So I'd prefer they just nail that, right? And don't do all these weird things you have to do to connect up your account. Just make it seamless, as seamless as possible. So hopefully they get that. You know, they went through that journey already. Hopefully they've learned from that journey to say, no, it's got to be very seamless for the end user and not a pain in the ass, because a lot of people will just give up, right? So it's got to be, you know, pretty straightforward to get into your Steam library on your console, and hopefully they can make that a couple of button clicks as seamless as they can make it. But that's what they need to do. They need to make it very straightforward. A lot of back and forth. I have to go to my phone and go to a special area and accept licensings, and like, okay, dude, like, stop. It's got to be very straightforward. So hopefully they can make that as easy as possible.
Agreed for sure. Scroll off that real quick. All right, so yeah, that's the dashboard. That's what it's gonna look like roughly. And I don't know. I just hope it's simple. I just hope it's simple and it works good. And I think that as much time and effort as they're putting into it, I think they're gonna and hopefully continue to grow with it, make it even better. So let's go ahead and I guess get on to the last topic. I'm trying to. I had a thing on it real quick, but I can't seem to find it. So I'll see if I can find it. I'll let you, Hargate, I'll let you start the topic, announce what the topic is, and start there, and I'll see if I can find the actual information to go along with it.
Yeah, so this is the financials, right? So the latest quarter for Microsoft came out, and do you already have it? You can bring it up.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Go ahead.
Okay, so Xbox. So take Xbox to the side for now. Microsoft itself, revenue grew 17% to $80 some odd billion for 3 months, and then pure profit of $30 billion for that 3 month quarter. So they're doing ridiculously well as far as actual Microsoft itself. However, they're also heavily investing in cloud and AI, and this is outside of gaming, just to put that aside, right? And that is not, from an investor perspective, returning as much as the investors want. So they said, oh, we're just gonna like sell your stock. So it went down quite a bit to the tune of $400+ billion loss in their market cap, right? Because of their continued AI and cloud push, which all made money. It all makes money, and then the cloud is still growing. It's growing quite a bit, but it wasn't enough, I guess, and people didn't like it. So whatever. So that is the macro view of what's happening at Microsoft. In the sort of gaming arena alone, gaming is part of the personal computing division, and in that division, it dropped a little bit. The Windows side grew slightly, like 1% ish. So Windows is doing okay. And then Xbox revenue fell. I think it was like 9%, with content and services down about 5-ish%. And this is comparing it, by the way, from this same quarter in 2024. So 2024's October, November, December to 2025's October, November, December. So these are the comparisons. And so content and services went down by about 5%. And then hardware sales went down another 32%. And that's just the continued thing that just keeps happening, right? It just keeps going down as they wind down the Series X and S generation. So that's kind of what they reported. Along with that, Satya reported that they've seen the most PC streaming users. I don't know. I assume that means cloud users. I don't know, whatever it is. So there's growth there, and they expect Game Pass to continue to grow into next quarter as well. So Game Pass is doing okay, and the major driver of the content and sales going down, and services revenue going down 5% was first party, right? So it was first party. So that's kind of the background of what we've gotten from this. So based on that, Mav, what do you think? Is Xbox dead?
No, it's not dead. I think it's interesting. Call of Duty had a huge impact on this, I think. In two ways. Black Ops 6 was such a massive breaking record success that you're comparing numbers from a record breaking Call of Duty to a Call of Duty that is lackluster in sales. So you have a huge disparity just with Call of Duty alone. I did think though that with this time, for that quarter specifically, kind of being the culmination of the year with all of the releases that they had, with all of the games they put on other platforms and all the other things that they did, that would have been maybe enough to offset that, because they had like 14 game releases or something last year. It was crazy, including the games that they put in other platforms as well, that were older games that had released a year prior. So that was kind of, it's not anything that Xbox is dead or anything like that, but it's not what they want to see, obviously, Microsoft. So with them having the idea of, okay, console is kind of shrinking with their level of importance, specifically to where they're going more for an outreaching platform, going into all these different devices, places to sell their games, that they want to grow the user base and improve the sales numbers because you're reaching more gamers. So the first year they really started doing that, to see like the biggest quarter for the year for them to be down 5% in comparison to the year before, is not something that I think Microsoft wanted to see. But you know, I don't know what their expectations are. Clearly, you would think that they would know Call of Duty versus Call of Duty, the disparity there. But I don't know if the other first party games did as well as they had hoped, and that could have led to that. So I do have some concern with their level of commitment to keep investing in those kind of games, like the Ninja Gaiden 4s, the Outer Worlds 2s, the Avoweds, you know, those kind of games that we got in plethora, which is the kind of stuff that I love seeing them put out frequently. I have concern when we see that level of not necessarily meeting where they want to be, with them continuing to invest in all these different kinds of experiences, right? So I think this year is going to be super important. overall 2026 because it's the big IPs, the Fable, Halo, Gears, Forza Horizon, and then you're going to have another Call of Duty at the end of the year. So I think this year's going to be really important to kind of cement that this is the right direction that they were going with putting other games in all these different places and all that kind of stuff. And as I do have a little bit of concern of like if we have the same report comes out next year after this Xbox year that we're having with all these tentpole franchises, if it declines again from year over year to that same quarter, which is the jackpot quarter, what does that mean for Microsoft? You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where I'll leave it at.
But very good points, for sure. It's my thoughts are that this is a transition part right now. Microsoft, they've the Series X and S, it's like they're not going to pump a bunch of more of those out because they're already ready to move on to the next generation of consoles, and what they have out there, and they've probably got some more systems coming. There's even some rumors of maybe a special edition bundle coming out later in November. Who knows what's going to be on there, whether it's the 25th anniversary or I don't know, maybe some kind of, franchise deal with a certain little game coming out this year that's, they may have the marketing rights to or not. Who knows? Maybe a tie-in with, Grand Theft Auto 6. We don't know who has the marketing rights to that. We speculate a lot. A lot of people think they do, but do we really know? No. We'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. All I know is that game is coming to consoles, all consoles, not just PlayStation, not just Xbox. It's coming to the consoles. So we'll see. We shall see.
And I do want to clarify too. I'm not concerned over like the Xbox ecosystem necessarily, or them selling games and all this other kind of stuff. I just strictly am concerned about their level of commitment to keep investing in making all these different kinds of games instead of just relying on, okay, we're going to do Fallout, Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I want to see all these studios exist and make all these different kind of games. And I think in order for that to continue, unfortunately, because of greed and all that kind of stuff, you need to see growth in the content and services category specifically, because that's going to be the health of the games division, right? Games and Game Pass and all that kind of stuff lives within that content and services. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on. I don't know how in touch Microsoft as the overlords are in touch with expectations, because we don't ever really know what the expectations are. They never really let us know that. So we'll find out what the expectations were based on their decisions they make after things happen. You know what I mean? So, which is interesting to see. But I hope the best, because I want this. I want more Fables. I want more Gears. I want more Halos. I want all these games, bro. I really do.
Me too.
You guys, this is the Xbox year. This is the year, man.
This is the year.
Go out and get and play these damn games. Tell everybody. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Like, you can play Gears, please. Play Forza, please. Play Halo. So everybody play it. Because I want these games to succeed, man. Because if we lose the investment on these franchises, that's going to be a massive shame. Massive shame.
Yep, I agree with that.
All right.
Hargeet, any final thoughts?
I haven't even given you any thoughts. So let's start.
Well, okay.
All right. So first, this is just a financial snapshot of a very, very highly profitable or high revenue third, their second quarter, but sort of the last quarter of the year, from last year to 2024 to 2025, right? Because actually this now 2025 is last year. That does not denote profitability, right? So they've shut down the movie and whatever stuff. That's going to hit it a little bit, not much, but a little bit. So that you can no longer buy movies and TVs, all that stuff, whatever. That's gone. However, ultimately, for any business, the problem isn't like how much revenue, it's how much profit. And if you decide, I don't want to do several things. So, for instance, first party Sony, they were investing heavily in all these things, but they weren't making enough profit. And so Hiroki comes in and says, yo, what are you guys doing? Why is my profit number sucky? I gave you all this money. Where'd it go? So he comes in and slashes all this stuff. Okay. Profitability went up. Does that mean the revenue from first party went up? Maybe not. Right? So that's not necessarily a bad thing if you're restructuring. Right? That's fine. Is it all Call of Duty? Okay, it pretty much is, right? So Kotick came out and said 60% plus down for Black Ops 7 versus 6. There are lots of factors that go into that. That doesn't mean it's a total failure. It's still sold quite a bit, and a lot of people would love to have Call of Duty sale numbers. However, Call of Duty expects a certain level and did not meet that target at all. That's a hit. Also, the entire industry is kind of going through a little bit of a low, isn't it? We had a horrible console selling season.
This is not an exclusive Xbox issue here.
Yeah.
All these companies, big publishers are having to make these decisions.
Yep.
Exactly. I was expecting, Nintendo, brand new console, Switch 2. It's going to go crazy. Nope. Didn't. Okay. And PlayStation down, was it like 40%? Something ridiculous? Okay, yep. Well, so I'm not expecting both of them to come out and say, gangbusters, things are great. I'm going to say it's going to be the same. Sony doesn't come out and say we're selling our TV division because they're in great financial status. Something's going on. So I'm not expecting great numbers from anybody. I think they're just structural issues from these folks, and like the gaming world has changed and things are just kind of balancing out. So I don't know that this is terrible. I don't know that this is great. What ultimately matters is how much money you're putting back into the company's hands, right? So when you put an investment in, how much profit did you return? I don't know what those numbers are. They don't tell us. So revenue going down doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world. Windows revenue has gone down. Have they shut it down? No. Like, obviously, it still makes them a lot of profit, right? So if the revenue goes down, that's not the end of the world. What matters is how much profit they're getting. And they don't tell us that. Unfortunately, we don't have that number. A lot of that profit is probably driven by Call of Duty, right? It's just a massive behemoth thing. But they have other things as well. Like, Call of Duty is not the only thing. It being down 60% didn't mean that their content and services revenue went down by 60%. It went down by 5%, right? Because they still have Minecraft. They still have Candy Crush. They still have World of Warcraft. They still have Fallout 76. It's on and on and on. They have all these ongoing games that do generate revenue for them. So, okay, cool. We don't quite know what the other games did or what the expectations were, right? Did Ninja Gaiden 4 fail miserably? I don't know. I have no idea. A lot of that gets hidden by Game Pass. So, I don't know. So I don't see that being the issue. Right. But as far as we can tell, Game Pass is still doing good. They're still happy with it because it's still growing. They're expecting more growth next quarter. That's what Amy Hood said. So, okay, I'll take them at their word, and the Game Pass is okay. And if that's sustaining most of your game development, great. Outside of Call of Duty, which is very expensive to make and then has to return itself. But I'm sure they made enough to actually cover those costs. How do they go beyond that? Well, they need to learn some lessons and fix Call of Duty. Call of Duty can't have another fail like this. That's not a good thing, right? So they need to fix that. Outside of that, I don't know that anything else changes, right? They've got their slate of games. They're not going to cancel those games. They're coming. And then the question is, do they stop anything else? Well, unless we come up with a new, like somebody, if they come out, you know, in the next 3-4 weeks saying we're killing all of our studios, I don't think that's happening.
Right.
I think they recognize what's happening here. Call of Duty had a bad year, right? It came in and Battlefield did well. Rest in peace to Vince. Unfortunately, he didn't get to see this nice little you know, bump that he had where it outdid Call of Duty. You know, that was something that was, you know, good for the industry in a way, I think, at least for me, for them to get humbled. I think Call of Duty needed to see, hey, you can't keep just expecting sales. You got to deliver a good product.
Yep.
That's a good thing, right? So, and they immediately came out and said, oh, we're not doing that again. And they just told us, right, that we're not doing that again. So that's good. There needs to be more, you know, fixing of that. And then we'll see what they do with that this year when they come up with a new Call of Duty. Is it going to be substantially better? Like, as we saw, Black Ops 6 was phenomenally successful. One of the most successful, if not the most successful game they've had. And now we have this game that was like so annoying to play. I mean, I gave up on it. I tried to play the campaign and I gave up on it. I couldn't deal with their, you know, it's always a multiplayer type campaign and you have no checkpoints within the actual level. I'm like, screw this. I'm just done. And so I didn't even bother. And I'm sure word of mouth wasn't good for it. They also screwed up by saying all the stuff you were going to buy in Black Ops 6 was going to go to 7, but then they said, no, it's not going to happen. Like, wait, hold on. What do you mean it's not going to happen? That was a mistake. And that's got to have put them in a bad position. Even for Black Ops 6, where people will continue to buy stuff on the assumption that, hey, when I go to 7, I'll have it. That might have pushed players back to say, no, I'm not going to do that then if you're not going to let me move that to 7. Right. So what are you guys doing? So even Black Ops 6 money started to dwindle, right? Which is not good, right? Because that's still available to you. You can still play 6, right? So this is kind of the downside of what they've done. They have to learn those lessons. So I think this is primarily, it's a Call of Duty fail. That's what this is a Call of Duty fail. And I can't go beyond that, but just take my word, it is actually a Call of Duty. But anyways, it's a Call of Duty fail. And they need to fix that. They just need to fix that. I don't know that anything else is going to change. It may not, but it's very unlikely that they're going to change course on everything else because Game Pass needs to be fed. If you want that to continue, Game Pass needs to be fed. So they have to keep putting content in there. So that content can be small, it can be large, it can be mid-sized, whatever, but it's going to be fed. And it has to be fed for people to keep subscribing. Otherwise, why bother subscribing? Right. So they need to keep giving it content. So I don't see this as a change in strategy of what games they make. I hope that doesn't change. What they need to do is fix Call of Duty. Call of Duty can't do this again. They have to give you a game that's worthwhile, and it has to come in and people have to like wanting to, you know, pay for it. That is something they need to just fix. So hopefully they do a good job with the next release. Hopefully they bring in the players who decided to skip Black Ops 7 back to the table. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I see this as. So it wasn't unexpected. They predicted it was gonna go down. So it was gonna be a down revenue year, but it was a couple of points more than they expected for their content and services. They expected it to go down by a few percent. It went down 5%. Again, not the end of the world as long as the profitability is there, and Black Ops needs to, like Call of Duty just needs to do a better job. So Black Ops 7 was just a massive failure in terms of a Call of Duty, not in terms of a game, because it's still sold.
Yep.
But in terms of a Call of Duty, and it needed to hit that mark, it did not. So sad, but you know, it is what it is. I don't expect much to change. They can easily absorb any potential failure of that game because they have enough revenue to subsidize that. But again, I'm sure it made its money back, but it didn't add to the profit levels that it should have, and that's a disappointment on the side of Call of Duty. But I'm sure they'll fix it. Still looking forward to all the games that are coming out. They had a smashing awesome Dev Direct, so I hope all that stuff is not impacted in any way. And I don't think it will be. So I think we're still okay here. As far as, what happens next year and the year after, always remember it isn't about the revenue. It's about how much profit. It's always nice to see that line go up. Everybody wants to see those lines go up. But what they really want is your return. What is the return? If the return is my line went up by 10%, but you're actually not getting any profit. In fact, I had to invest and there was no profit. That's only sustainable for a while. Most of the times, that's not what people like to see from an investment perspective. They want to see profit returns, right? So if you're saying I'm at 15%, 20%, and I still gave you 15%, 20%, okay, that's fine. Even though the revenue might have gone down, it's okay as long as I'm getting profit, right? And that's something they will weigh, right? So as far as a business, continuing that business, they're going to look at that. They're not going to look at, hey, the revenue didn't go up. They're going to say the revenue didn't go up, it went down. How's my profit line looking? Okay, all right. So now if there's concern there, they need to fix that, right? So, which again, I don't know. They don't tell us. So it's very hard to tell what that profit hit is, if there is any. So we will find out, right? So I'm assuming there is. Again, it may have gone down from like 18% down to like 11. Okay, then they might be in a concern mode of saying, how do I get it back to 18? Right, but it's not unprofitable. Therefore, it's not something they would shed, right? So that's just, so again, this is all like a conjecture based on what we understand because they don't give us the real numbers. But I would also caution anybody trying to say that hey, Xbox dead. We may see similar things from the other platforms. PC is in a very bad state with all the price gouging crap that's going on with memory and storage, GPUs. It is in a very bad state. I hope that doesn't equate to bad numbers for major like Steam or something like that. I hope that doesn't hit them. They have an install base. Hopefully that's okay. I don't know what happens with Steam Machine. I still have not seen a price.
Nope.
I don't know where that's going to hit. So good luck to them. If they have to like deal with all these cost increases and say, oh, well, that box is going to be like $1,000. Good luck. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out in the market, right? We'll see. And then if you look at Nintendo, do they say, like, I don't expect them to not be profitable. Nintendo's Nintendo. They're going to make money. The question is, how much were they expecting? How much did they get? I think things might be a little lower than expected, unfortunately. And then the same with PlayStation. They got hit by 40%. I remember that number. I think that was the number, 40% down for PlayStation console sales. And if Call of Duty, the profit engine of PlayStation is down, what does that do to them?
Yeah.
What does that do to them?
Yeah.
So again, I don't think they're going to be in dire straits or anything, but I would also not be shocked if they say our revenue wasn't what we expected and our profit might have dipped a little.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me. I don't know how many Battlefield players are, console players versus PC. I tend to think they're more PC, but it could be console. It could be. And again, I don't know how many of them engage in microtransactions.
Yeah.
At the same level as they do on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
In Arc Raiders, is that taking off? We've seen the numbers. A lot of that was PC, right? A lot of it is PC.
Yeah.
And then there's a good chunk on consoles.
Yep.
How much of that is generating revenue for them? So these are the things you have to look at. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not so great numbers for the others.
Yeah, Hargeet, we gotta get a heart out here for Mav. I didn't see that he needed to head out. I'm so sorry, Mav.
Sorry. Well, you're
I stepped away for a second to let my dogs out, and then it came back, and then I guess that's when you put the message up, and I did not see it at all. So I so apologize for that. All right, not even mean to cut you off, Hargeet. We have been going for a little while. It's some of these options, man. We get into them because they're so good to jump into. But please, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to Mav. Mav, please tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to you. I'm gonna put your in the corner up there. That is the QR code if you want to for Mav's YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe.
Click that thing. Everybody, appreciate you. Check out Fun Speculation on YouTube Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We still have our shows there, and also some random streams occasionally for whatever random games end up deciding to play. But thanks for having me, Dave. It was awesome as always. It's great hanging out with the Blue Number here, as well as Hargeet. Always good to see you, bro.
Yes.
Chat, you guys rock. Thanks for supporting this awesome channel, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one, man.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace, buddy. Have a good one. Hargeet, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you. Sorry about that. But yeah, so anyway, so sorry, man, for leading him on your line. I felt so bad. I was looking around, I was like, what's going on? I said, oh shit. chat. I was like, oh shit, that was like 10 minutes ago. I need to take off. So Mav, thank you again for hanging out with us. I am so
thanks
sorry.
for
I feel
being
bad
on,
about that. No. Yeah, that was all me, man. That was all me and not paying better attention to the board. So anyway, but Hargeet, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to put your YouTube channel up right there. Boom, shot.
Yeah, sure. My dogs actually change this stupid graphic now. The fun little thing that I had. But anyways, my channel is Hargeet Chani 1 on YouTube. My book, if you want to pick it up, shop.chani.us. And then I'll be on with Fawns on Tuesday, 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, Fawns Gaming, with Boom on Double Barrel Gaming on 7 p.m. US Eastern Time on Wednesday, and then with C Money and Doodle on Point for Gamers on Friday at 8-ish p.m. US Eastern Time. Check those out. We'll be back next week to talk about the fun that happens and how Xbox is always dead.
Yep. Well, we won't be back here next week.
Oh, that's right. We will not be here next week because Super Bowl. Patriots in the Super Bowl. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
That's right. I'll be enjoying the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Hopefully, I'm enjoying the Super Bowl.
This is the only Sunday we take
the
off.
Seahawks could be winning
Sunday.
that one. They look pretty good. So, but either way, we shall see.
We shall see, buddy. I'm just kidding. Let me get this to you. I'm happy with whoever wins and whoever does. That's I'm cool with that. So let's on the way out, a quick reminder that please hit the like button if you get a chance to, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to us already. We're going to be sending it over to Sigs and Serial. If you haven't watched any of his shows, definitely watch him tonight. He is actually really, really good, funny guy. He usually goes late at night, but his shows are on replay, and he basically breaks down all of the disgruntled chat. And he has one thing he does do I really like is that he really gets his context, as it were. He likes that. My context is what he says. So yeah. So he does a deep dive. So when they try and say, oh, I didn't say that, he shows you exactly what they did and what they didn't do. So stick around. Sigs and Cereals coming up next. If you're hanging out in the chat, big shout out to him. Hargeet, thank you again so much for being here. Like I said, next week we're taking off, but we will be back the following week. This is the only Sunday we do take off as a Super Bowl, and we got lots of big things to talk about, and we got some big guests coming up for the week after, so please be here for that. But definitely don't want to miss out on what Hargeet's going to be next, and which is going to be, I guess, excuse me, Hairball is going to be on with Fonz on Tuesday night. Definitely going to be a good one for sure. So yeah, thank you for joining us here on the Gamers Council.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
See y'all.
Game over.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.